All right, let's do this. Yes, this is updating. Okay, it threw me off there. All right, we're going to start this going, and I'm going to go over here and do some stuff with my title and stuff. Hold on. Let's get that going. Right over here. I love the sound of whirling machines. Okay. Oh, God, that Hogwarts Legacy is so good. Such a great game. Okay, here we are, everybody. We're back to our factory. Now, this is a starter factory here. Now, what I've done is done it in different stages. Kind of the first stage. Congrats on 100%. Thank you, James. Thanks for coming in and hanging out. Yes, we 100%ed that baby. It was awesome. In the hardest mode, by the way. Not because, by the way, when you're doing the 100%, it is way harder in the hard mode than it is in the normal mode. So just getting to level 40 and just getting all of those achievements done in the hardest mode is awesome. Very, very awesome. All right, so here we are working away. And actually, I'll mute the game here for a minute. You can see that we've got our coal plants going. And we're progressing the game. And what I've done in between last time we played Satisfactory and this time is I've just been letting it run. And I let it run, I don't know, 12 hours, where it was just backlogging resources the whole entire time, which is awesome. So we should have stacks and stacks of resources around somewhere. So we'll see how that ends up. And that's going to allow us to go to the next stage. Now, this is one of the greatest building games of all time. If I wanted someone to build me a factory building game, this would be the game. It is so incredibly, amazingly done. And they just iterate on it again and again and make it even better every single time. These guys have the ultimate ability to make the game leaps forward better than the last iteration that they've done. And they've done it every single update for a bunch of updates. And that's really hard to do, everybody, to really leap forward and take chances on updating it forward and forward again. So this game is a 12 out of 10, everybody. I'm not kidding. It absolutely is. This is an instant buy for me. And it's called Satisfactory, made by the awesome people over there at Coffee Stain Studios who are just absolutely crushing it. All right, let's get down from our little perch here. And we'll turn the sound back on. Right over here. I'm going to turn mine down just a little bit. There we go. So again, you can see that we are running some of our items over here. So we don't have too much of these going on, but I do have some extras over here. We can see that we have a whole box full of these, which is awesome. Which means that this is probably backlogged right here. See, that stopped running over there. And all of these have stopped running because it is backlogged, that box full of those. Now, my suggestion is just, I say I'm so used to the habit of hitting F and then middle mouse button. I don't need to do that anymore. You just middle mouse button and it will pick up that item, which is pretty awesome. And then you can tell it to run it this way. And then you can go ahead and backlog another box. Well, if I did the right way. I don't know why it goes the opposite way like that. Very weird to do that by default. But what it's going to do now is it's going to take that extra and it's going to run it up to the top one. So now I'm going to end up with 2 boxes full of this stuff, and as it's moving it up over here, it's going to start this back up, and that's going to go there. Now I'm going to need an absolute ton of these. So what we're going to be doing is scaling up, and then scaling up some more, and scaling up more and more and more. And I base everything on the node, right? The node is how you scale up, not necessarily the actual items that you're producing. That node, when you can upgrade it, you want to upgrade it as quick as possible. Like right now, I can go overclock it. Right? But that's not really going to help me. It'll help me a little bit because I'll have between, 240 and 270, so just a little bit extra. But for the power consumption, it's not worth it. Right? They also added this awesome thing called the Blueprinter, which is amazing. Absolutely love this as well. So you can make different blueprint designs. And then instead of putting down every single little bit of everything, you can do these different designs and then plop them down like we did last time. Like this. You can see that I can just keep adding more and more and more of them down the line without having to do all the individual parts and just connect them together. And that worked out amazing, by the way. It worked out really amazing. You're going to see this try to catch up over here as well. So we're making a bunch of rods here, and those rods are making their way Over here, we were making some plates as well. And we're running those down to here. Now, probably the same thing, right? If we go over here and look in this box, boom, full of plates. Over here, boom, full of rods, right? And I could have this running and running, make even more of them. But I find about one box is more than enough. Now, in this particular stage, what we're going to do is we're going to go vertical. That's right, we're going to start going up so that we can go ahead and build our upper level. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the blueprinting, and I'm going to have a blueprinting thing on every single level as my kind of area in which I'm going to use to get things started. So we're going to go ahead and start with a wall here, and I'm just going to use it for reference, and then we're going to put the wall down. Now I can just go click, 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 click my way up, or I can use this awesome feature called zooping. I hit R to switch the mode, and then now I can just go like this. Boom. Easy peasy, looking good. Now what I'm also going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab a foundation here, and I'm going to basically measure where that foundation hits that blueprint. So not high enough, right? But now I can just hit F, middle mouse button, and boom, now I've got more walls. Now, I think these are kind of full walls. Yeah, these are full walls. They also have short walls as well. And then again, I can just hit middle mouse button on that one. And then I don't have to go in and out of the menu so often, which is also what makes it awesome. So yeah, still not high enough. So again, we'll hit middle mouse button there. We'll go up, say 2 more. Trying to find a one. There we go. 1 millimeter or 1 meter. There we go. All right. That looks pretty good. So we're going to move our production up. Now, why are we going to do that? Well, we've got an under level, which is all of the resources, which is down at the bottom, right? And that keeps animals and mobs and whatever from being in your base. And so then what we're going to do is we're going to bring that up to this level. Now, this level is going to do all the basic stuff, right? Making rods and screws and all that kind of, you know, first tier, second tier, third tier, so on stuff. Then what we're going to do is we're going to combine all of the output of all of this stuff down here into the more advanced machines up above, right? Like your assemblers and your manufacturers and your bigger stuff that we're going to use. So we're going to definitely go vertical. Now, to go vertical, you got to get up there. That's the hard part, right? We've got to make our way up to the top. Now, let's go see what we got going on over here. We've got our hub. And then, of course, we've got a bunch of various materials. Now, all of that stuff that's being fed over there now, because we changed it all around, is eventually going to make its way into all of these boxes so that these boxes will basically be full whenever I need them, right? And I won't have to do this kind of spaghetti stuff where I'm just running random stuff over to the other side over there unnecessarily. Now, this right here, you can see, is not full. And this one over here is not full. And this one over here is full. And so on and so forth. And the reason why they're not full is because I diverted them from that location to another location on that side, because I know I'm going to take all of this out. I'm going to take all this out and move it upwards where I'm going to be. And then we're going to keep moving upwards until we get to an area where we can just run trains however we want. And that's why I work vertical. Now, this is one of the greatest places to start because there's a bunch of pure nodes here, which means you get a bunch of resources, a lot more resources to start with. And then the resources will scale up as you scale up your factory as well, which is pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. So let's go see first if there's any upgrades that we can get going while we're waiting. Okay, so we've got tier 3 done, which is our coal power. We got our vehicles, we got our steel production going, we got all of that going. Now we do need to get our versatile framework going. And then we also need over here at number 4, we also need to get our automated wiring going as well. I think we did our automated wiring. And then our hyper tubes we unlocked, our logistics, which is our faster belt, which is our 270 belt now. The reason why it's not 240 is because 270 is 45 divided by that, which is 6. So that's it. And then, of course, we got our Fix-It Blueprint Designer. Now, to go any further to Tier 5 and 6, we're going to need to utilize our space elevator. And that's why I took it down, so that when I build vertically, I can put it up on the top where I'm working. I like to bring the stuff to me than to make me have to go to it, right? My time is the most valuable time. The machine's time is not as valuable as my time. So we've got to get all of this stuff from here up there as well. We also got to work on our MAM. We'll just take this out for now. We also got to work on our MAM, which is the thing that allows us to research different technologies that we're going to use as well. But one of the things we can also do is we can generate a bunch of tickets. Walk over here, and we've got 7 tickets. We'll print those out. We'll grab those tickets. And this is another thing that we want to get going. We want the tickets to just be running 24/7 and never stop. So we can go over here to our awesome sink and buy stuff. One of the things that I like to buy is the coffee cup, which I think is amazing, but I'm not going to use it in this playthrough. We'll use it later when we have enough inventory slots. Also, the factory card is amazing. Get your boombox on if you want, and so on. But one of the things that I like right here is the factory ladder. The factory ladder is incredibly useful in the early game. So I'm going to use my very rare tickets and get a factory ladder. And you're like, well, Kismet, you got hyper tubes. Why would you need factory ladder? Well, I need the factory ladder. It helps me go up and down while I'm setting up the hyper tubes. Right, now one of my favorite things also, I should have bought it while I was over there, is the ability to use the hyper tubes through a wall. Very easy way to get that going. So we'll go over here. We're going to move all this stuff up above as well. And that's to use our organization. We'll come back to that later. Management, here we go. Hypertube wall attachment. So basically it's like a wall hole that you can put in there on the bottom part, and then on the top part, really easy way of organizing your stuff. Also, you can use the floor hole where it'll just come through the floor. And you can just like pop up, woo, but then you get sucked back down again, so watch out for that. I like using the wall one, so we're going to add that one to cart. And we also have our floor lifter, so we can run resources through the floor, which we're definitely going to use if we're going to go vertical. So let's add that in there as well. And eventually, of course, we want our pipe holes to go through stuff as well. Not sure if we have enough tickets for that. Let's see how many tickets. Oh, wait, we got some tickets probably laying around somewhere, too. Let's go see how many extra tickets. I seriously doubt I put it in here. Yeah. I put them over here somewhere. Oh, we got 8 other tickets. Ooh, shopping spree. Shopping spree time, everybody. Let's go. Right over here. All right. So we got that in there. What do we got in here? We got the floor wall hole. We got the hypertube attachments. Right here, wall attachment. Again, if you only have a little bit, this is what I would buy. Let's go ahead and add that to cart. Right over there. So we got that and we got that. Now, you only have to buy it once and then you're done. By the way, this is not for real life money, by the way. This is just fun. And then over here, the wall attachments outlets are awesome. They're really good. Great way of hiding your power lines and things like that. I especially like the double wall outlets myself, which are on dual sides. So they're on both sides of the wall, and each of those sides have 4 of their own connection. Later on, we can get to level 2s and level 3s, etc., which give you more connections to that particular thing. So we're going to go with that. Let's see how much it is. There's 12 tickets. We have 12 tickets, and it's 8 tickets. Totally worth it. Let's buy it all. All right. We got 4 tickets left over. What do we feel like doing? Oh, there's no indicator on there. I don't want that. We can do the hypertube floor hole, which is pretty useful, but I probably won't use it. I use it more like an elevator, so I create like a little elevator enclosement, and then I put the hypertubes to various levels. Let's check our foundations. I very rarely ever do foundations because the only ones that are really fantastic is the double ramps set here. That's really, really good. Because in the past, it would be difficult to run your ramps. So you use the double one here, and then it would run your ramps, no problem. But now they have zooping, so it's no big deal. It's not as needed. That's something I would normally unlock right at the very beginning of the game, but I don't need it as much now with zooping. They've also got wall attachments, which is pretty cool. Various different walls and windows if we're trying to get fancy, and gates and doors and stuff. I don't really work fancy, everybody. I just work what's efficient, because that's the directive from Fix-It, right? From the home company. Right over here, I'm wearing my Fix-It factory cart shirt, which I absolutely love, because if you were getting sent to a planet by a giant quadrillionaire corporation, space corporation, they would send you with the cheapest thing possible, because that's efficient. That's efficient, and it costs less money, and it does the same thing as some fancy car would do. And I love that lore about it, everybody. I love that part. Now, another thing I never do is I never buy the parts. I never do that, even though at some point you get tons and tons of tickets. You can buy the parts if you want to. I don't feel that's a thing. Also, you can do like support pillars, and I've done that in previous playthroughs where I put in all the supports and stuff. I feel like it's a huge waste of your time, especially if you're just playing in early access or in experimental like I am. They're still working on the game. The thing that I really want is the kind of like this, which is the thing that we can control the power and the different zones of power, right? So say we run out of power and our power system turns off, well, guess what? We're screwed because we can't use our transport and we can't use all of our stuff, and of course our entire factory goes off. But they added in Update 8 the ability to tell it when you have so much power coming through and you don't have enough power, what to turn off first and what to turn off second. Like the first thing I would turn off is any production that has to do with producing this stuff. I would turn that off first over actual power production and over transport, right? You got to have your transport on so you can go fix the problem or add more power, and you never want it to go off, right? You never want your power to go completely off, so it continues to produce power, and it continues to, of course, produce resources by priority. This is the highest priority resource, this is the second highest, and so on and so forth down the way. That's what I really want to unlock. Maybe we'll unlock it today. We'll see. Okay, let's get to work, everybody. That's what we're going to do. We're going to run over here, and we're going to get to work. Because what we're going to do right down here is we're going to go in here, and we're going to get our organization. God, where is it? Transport, foundations, architecture. There we go. Ladder, and we're going to put that as number 10 right there. All right. Now, first thing we're going to do is we're going to run our ladder up there, and then we're going to run it some more all over the top of that. So we have a nice central ladder to work, just in case we run out of power, because we don't have that little switchy thing yet to get that going. Got my weapon ready, too. All right. And then we're going to try to remember what the key is. There we go. And we're going to switch to our hyper tubes. We're going to hide our weapon here. And then we're going to tell our transport here, we're going to use our new ones here. We're going to tell that to be number 6 on our hotbar there. So I'm just pressing number 6 on the side of my mouse, and then this is going to be number 7. Actually, this one should be number 6, and that one is number 7. Because I'm going to use the wall hole. That's very important. So I'm going to go ahead and put the wall hole here, and I'm going to put it up a little bit so I don't accidentally get sucked in there. And I'm probably going to end up doing 2 of them. One that goes to this upper level, and then eventually when I move it up more, I will make a second one there. But we'll just do that right now. Now, sadly, it doesn't cut a hole in the wall and do all of that. You can make it glass or whatnot. I actually like to use the glass in there. I don't know if we can unlock that. Let's go ahead and just put an awesome shop over here so I can keep running. Oh, I need some screws. Got to run over here anyway. Let's get some screws, because you can have these little things everywhere. You can just build them wherever you are if you have enough resources to grab them. Grab a full stack there. We have a lot of, we can probably get rid of these right here. Let's go put those. Actually, those don't even belong in there. Why are those in there and not over here? I probably just put them in there. Let's move them over here in their actual spot. This way later when I'm going in here to work on this stuff, it'll all be... Now don't forget to take a few out for yourself so you don't end up, with nothing there. And now I might as well just walk over here. Alright, we're going to go to walls. Now, I like to use the windowed walls. Also love the conveyor walls over here. Man, we only had 5 tickets. We'll have to get our tickets popping here. We'll get them going because we're going to basically get rid of a bunch of stuff too, so I don't have to manage it. But yes, the windowed walls would be awesome, but it's not available yet. So we'll have to come back to that, but definitely want to get the conveyor walls. Put that on our to-do list. Let's just add it to cart, and let's go ahead. I don't think we can add this to cart, but we can favorite it, I guess. But we'll just add that to cart to remind us for later. Okay, so we got that going. And then now the other easiest part is to go to the top here. Like so, using the ladder, old school. And getting up to the top. Hopefully there's something there to stand on, otherwise you go, woo, and you die. Which I have actually done. Alright, there we go. We'll build this out just a little bit on both sides. Look how easy it is to build. I mean, people really take that for granted. That is so incredibly precise and wonderful how well that works. Okay, so we want to take this out. And what we want to do is be able to go hit that thing, have it come up here, and end up right here, right? So we want to go ahead and add a wall there. Put a hypertube wall hole there. And then we can kind of step out a little bit on this side, or even easier on this side. Look way down there and say, you know what? Connect that there, and then connect it up to here. Oh, I did. All right, there we go. Connect that to there. There we go. There we go. Overlapping clearance may occur. What the heck? Okay, I don't know what was up with that, but okay. Wasn't quite snapping from up there. Okay, so we can kind of do it like this. See how it goes down? Depending on which way I connect it is the way that the thing will offset. So if you start at the bottom, it'll offset one way. If you started at the top, it'll offset another way. Now you can also go in and tell it exactly how you want it to go. Down here, we can have the different build mode. Right now, it's in build mode auto. I can go and say auto 2D, and we can look at how that looks. See how that kind of goes straight down instead of going down and then, you know, kind of 90 degree. Then we can also hit R, which is kind of more of a noodle mode, which is kind of, you know, in between. And then we can, of course, do the vertical mode, which it auto chose last time. As well, as you can see, it's choosing that vertical mode from up here. So there we go. Now, we need an entrance on both sides, and we need power on both sides, which I have an entrance right there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pull this down, and we're actually going to go ahead and try to attach it to the side. Now, it doesn't seem to be attaching to the side. Why doesn't it attach to the side? And that's because we're using our power poles instead of using our wall outlets. Now, our wall outlets, if we go over here and add that in. I actually want to add that to my bar as well. Let's add that to number 8. There we go. And so what I can do is just add a little power line there and then run this up to that. Boom. And then there we go. It runs that power line right from there. Or we can make it even sexier by going over here and adding one on this side. Adding a connection through the foundation. We just RP in that we cut a hole there. And then now you can't even see the line. The line is hidden under the foundations. And then over here we can then just connect this up to there. And then you pretty much don't see it because it's all self-contained. So not only is it the functional working of it, but also the look of the actual item itself as well. So now we're going to go ahead and take this. We're going to see if we can hit that power line down there. Let's see if we get lucky. Oh, there's too many connections on it right now. Let's cut this connection for right now. And then we'll take this. Run that down there. Okay, so now that's got power, and I can just go into that. And we'll see how it works. Works good. All right, nice. And we put an entrance on this side. Same thing. I like to put the connections in the back. That's just me. And I typically like to put them in the center, so this way the hypertube itself is not in the way. And I usually put it up a little bit, just so it's easier for me to use and work. And then also, it just doesn't clip as much, right? If you have it in the actual back of the thing, like that, you can see it's not clipping as much and you can't really see it. So we'll go ahead and take this, and we're going to run it way up to the top, like this. Now, instead of having this line go all the way across like that, we can go ahead and take this line from over here and just nicely, oh, it wants to do it. There we go. Nicely connect that straight across there. And now we just have a straight across connection, and then that connection goes straight up. And then we can take that connection. By the way, look how far away I can build, everybody. It's just so incredibly well done. And then we can try to connect it to that. But there's already something connected to it. So I need to take that power out of there and then connect this directly to that. And there we go. So now that power is all hidden behind you're inside the little elevator thing. And we could really go to town. We could take this power, run it down to the ground, run it across here, hide it behind the thing, and you could really get into your power production. But I think you guys get the general gist of it. And let's try it out. So the first thing you want to establish is your ability to go up and down very quickly to your hub. Now, we've got some things we can take out from way up here, including the hub. Boom, hub is out of there. Just like that. And then we're just going to go ahead and build some room for the hub. Right in the center here between our two kind of sides of production. And the hub is going to become the center of this next area. So I want to kind of look at where the center is. I'm going to call this one right here the center. So I'm going to just kind of remind myself by just putting a wall there and say, look, this is the center of my base. Now I could also, you know, put a ramp there if I wanted to that takes me down that bottom level and so on and so forth. But if you notice that I'm kind of setting this further back that way, because ever so slowly we're going to be setting ourselves backwards toward where we have all of our other resources, because we're going to be running other resources over here as well. And those resources I'll be using up in the upper levels because those will be doing other things. And then as we move our way up, we'll be getting to more and more advanced resources as we go. So there we go. And I call it a vertical tiered base. So it's tiered based on what you're doing. Okay, so we brought that up here. This is the center of our base. We're going to go ahead and build our hub again. Now, your hub is like, again, the center of everything that you're doing. I'm going to go ahead and just set this kind of right against the back of this. And one of the things they added is the ability to hit H, and now it's a hologram. So you got this hologram here, and you can say, oh, do I want it to be a little bit left? Do I want it to be a little bit right? That's such a great feature, everybody. Do I want to push it way, way back off the side if I want to, right? And so you can go in here and just kind of walk around it and say, okay, oh, God, oh, it's cutting through my wall there. Oh, I don't want to cut through my wall. Hold on, I'll move it forward just a little bit. Okay, maybe right up against the wall there. How we looking in the front? Looks good. Then you check the left and right position. Is it centered in the thing? Okay, maybe a little left. There we go. Okay, now it's forward enough. Now it's centered. You click it. Boom! I love that new feature, everybody. Again, that's a new feature of Update 8. Now, there's other things we need to do, and that is to build a whole bunch more over here and take this to our whole another level. Now, again, you can see that we pretty much have an infinite amount of space. I mean, there is an actual edge to the world and so on, but because we're coming up here in a vertical way, we have a lot of room. And what we want to do is we want to centralize my ability to upgrade. Basically, the whole gist of this game is upgrading. Is getting stuff upgraded so you can do the next level and the next level and the next level of stuff, right? That's pretty much the progression path. Okay, I started off, I could do some plates, I could do some rods. Okay, now I've unlocked the ability to do a whole bunch of copper stuff. Okay, cool, I got that going. What else do I got? Okay, I got to get some limestone. I got to get some cement going, right? You want to get a lot of that going, as a matter of fact. A ton of cement. If you build out big old mega bases like me, you're going to need a lot of that. So always have that running all the time. And then you're now to a point where you're like, okay, now I'm going to go make some more advanced stuff where I take the raw resources, the raw iron ore, turn those into ignits, take the ignits, turn those into plates, right? Okay, now I got my plates. Because I did all those steps. Now I'm also going to take some of those iron ignits and I'm going to put them into rods. Okay, now I've got rods. But wait a minute, I don't really need rods. I need screws. So now we're going to take them screws and we're going to convert those into we're going to convert the rods and we're going to convert them into screws. And now we got plates and we got screws. And then we combine the plates and screws together, reinforced iron plates. And then now we can make our belts go faster. We can do all of that stuff. That's like stage 2. Then we have like stage 3 where you're working on your coal power. That's what we did last time, coal power, and then tearing your whole base down and then making it so it's easily expandable, right? And that's what we did. We got our blueprinter. We can easily expand it. We have a whole, we can just keep going down the line, just keep adding more and more stuff to it to basically do an unlimited amount as long as we have enough power. Power and resources is what you're all about, and upgrades. Now, I brought this up here so I can basically route all of those resources that are being produced down below up to this level. And so what we want to do is think about how we want our resources to be. We want them to be really easily accessible to our upgrade. This is the only place in which you can upgrade here in the hub, right? Now, of course, we'll have to upgrade and send stuff to space elevator first so that we can do this, but this is where you want to have all your stuff in one central area so you can work your upgrades, right? And so we can't do any upgrades until we upgrade with our space elevator. So we're going to need to think about what we're doing with that, how we're going to run our resources, how we're going to do all of that production. But I need resources for me to build stuff. And one of the things that I like to do is called the resource center, where I'll go ahead and make me a bunch of resources, like right here. And I'm actually going to move this over and leave a little bit of a gap here. Let's just go ahead and hit H. Then we can go ahead and leave a bit of a gap like that. I also like to leave a little bit of room for me to get by on my vehicle. So let's go ahead and move it back just a little bit. Let's say about kind of a half of a foundation here. Really, it's like a full foundation if you think about it, because you know you got this half and that half. You get the idea. So we're going to push that back a little bit. We're also going to leave ourselves a little bit of gap so that we can run in between our containers, unlike we have it down below. Down below, we have all the containers right next to each other, and so you're constantly like jumping on the containers and getting up the ladder and trying to get over the thing. It's basically blocking you. It's down there somewhere. It's underneath where we're really standing. And so I don't want that to happen the next time. And I usually do them in groups based on what the base resource is, right? So over here, my primary resource that we start with, of course, is iron. Right, so in this case, I'm actually going to do some reverse and actually do concrete first. Why am I going to do concrete first? And I'm going to go ahead and put a little belt here. Oh, I need some concrete. I run out of concrete? I did. All right, hold on. We got to run down, get some concrete. It was funny, at that very moment that I ran out of concrete when I'm trying to make a thing that holds my concrete. I find that kind of moment funny. Now, here's where they all are. They're just all right next to each other. And that's going to make it more difficult to do what we want to do, right? Now, the cool thing is when I pull something out of there, if it's running to this box, it will actually start back up again if it's full and start back up. But I'm actually running it over there, and we're going to be reworking all of this. So we're going to get ourselves some concrete here. And we're going to run back over here. And that does not have any power. I can see that that does not have power. I don't like it. We're going to fix it. Just in case we need to go down there. There we go. That's because it was had a red light instead of a green light. That's why. Now again, this ain't my first playthrough, everybody. Again, thanks for hanging out, Rickard. I played through about 40 or 50 times in this game because I love this game. This game is awesome. Okay, so we put a little, ready to put some concrete in there. We're ready to do a little bit of this. And what I do, instead of using signs, I just put some concrete in there and I let it go, right? And then it just comes out with the concrete, right? One of the things that absolutely drives me crazy about this game is it doesn't pick up the direction of stuff that you're putting down. And often what will happen is it will turn it the opposite direction of what you're doing, because what's happening right now is this is the back of the container, right? So you got your 3 lines, which means the back or the entrance or the input. And then you have your arrow, which is on this side, which is the output. Now you're like, Kismet, did you do that on purpose? Yes. I did that on purpose so you can see that that's vitally important to what you're doing. Now I'm going to aim them toward me right over here. The way we're going to do that is we're going to line it up. We're going to hit H. And then, see, we can't rotate it once we hit H. So I'm going to hit escape. You have to rotate it first. You have to get it going the way that you want it to go. Then I can hit H for hologram. I can move it around, say, you know, nicely center it so I have plenty of room to run in between there. Then click the button. Then I'm going to go ahead and switch back to my other set here. Hide that. Just run this out here. Now, at some point, everybody, I just start using the fastest speed because you can go in and do all the numbers, and I've done it 1,000 times and 1,000 times again. But after a while, it's not worth the time. I find it's best just to use the fastest belts you can. Just make a ton of those resources, and then you can just have your belts going as fast as you can, just in case your thing turns off. It'll then go at its fastest speed to get back up to speed and get running, especially stuff like coal and things of that nature. We're going to upgrade all of that stuff today. We're going to get all of that going. Okay, so now you can see I have it facing me. Now it runs out because this is an output onto the thing, and I know what's in that box. Now you're like, Kismet, now you got all these ones and they're wrong, right? Well, it has a great feature where you just hit F, highlight all of that, boom, it's all out of there just like that. Also, it has a great feature where it aligns stuff together, so when you get it like that, you'll see this green line. That green line says that it's close to what the other one is. We'll hit H. Then we can say, okay, is that kind of centered in there? This one's kind of a little bit further over on the thing. Can we nudge it maybe a little bit this way? Does it really look like it's lined up? We'll look across that edge. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Do I like it like that, or do I like it more like this? Yeah, I kind of like it more like that. Boom. And then we're good. And then over here, you can hold down Control. And then Control is going to allow you to zap those down like nobody's business. Now, in the iron business, which is what we're in to start, you need to make some stuff. And so we're going to go in here and we're going to say, okay, we want to go ahead and line these up like this. And we want to know what's in each of these, right? So the first one that you make in the game is plates. So we're going to go ahead and put some plates in there just so it kind of puts the front of that in there. Take those plates back. Then we're going to go ahead and put some screws in here. And then take them screws back. You get the general idea. I'm just kind of telling it exactly what I want it to be and what is eventually going to end up in that box. I'm thinking way ahead, right? Now you can do it in any order that you want to do it. You can do more advanced stuff together or less advanced stuff together. I like to put all the basics together, like all the stuff you started with, right? And this is the stuff you usually grab the most in the early game, and then you start grabbing more advanced stuff in the later game. Now, when you combine plates and rods, you take the plates and you use those. You take the rods, you turn them into screws, and then those will make your reinforced iron plates. So we're going to go ahead and put those right over here. Now, in the beginning, you can use a lot of reinforced iron plates. I typically don't. In this particular playthrough, I did just to show you the difference. But I don't. I try to skip over iron plates as much as I can and go directly to steel, because steel is going to give you that 270 and it's going to be much faster, and it makes way more faster with less power than or at least close to the less power than the iron reinforced plates. Because you'll see that now I'm in this next stage that I'm not going to use that many of those. Maybe, to build a thing, this thing or that thing, but now those are obsolete in my progression. So that's going to happen. So we put all the iron stuff over there. Now we've got our concrete. And I'm just going to do this just to make it visually easy to kind of tell the difference between them all. And then you can probably guess what I'm going to put over here in our little row. We're going to go ahead and work on our copper stuff. Now remember, this is just for us, not necessarily for the production of the base, but this is just for us to come out here and we need a little of this or a little of that. It's nice and conveniently nearby. And I'm going to do cables. Pull those cables out. I'm going a little bit faster. I go way faster than this normally, everybody. Way faster, but I go a little slower when I'm explaining stuff. So there we go. So now we got all of our copper stuff. These are all our basics. That's from your first kind of stage of the game is to produce all of these resources. Now, we've got those out. Pretty easy. I can just kind of run out of the hub, grab whatever I want, and they're kind of centered in the thing. Now, I could have moved this even more in the center, but I do like to have where I can run back and forth through those like that, so I can attach all the stuff in the back. Now, also, I put them on this side because most of my production is on this side, right? I put all the screw productions, the plate production, all of that stuff pretty much on this side. But the reinforced iron plates are on the other side, and we'll run those in what's called an underrun or a sandwich level. We'll run them underneath and then have them come up through the floor where we don't have to run so much stuff up on this level, right? This level is going to be much more clean than the lower level down below. And it really does help a lot. You can also do that with your feed lines where you're feeding, your iron and all of that stuff in there. So now the best thing to do is work from the end and work your way backwards, right? So I know where I want it to end up. I want it to end up right here. And so that makes that easy. Now we have some other resources that we do want to bring over here as well. And I'm just going to put those somewhat in order of what we've done. And I'm going to try to line this one up. And let's line it up to this one over here. You're going to see this kind of green line pop up. We're going to hit H. And we're going to see if it actually does line up to this. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Lines up there, but that's a little close. So we're going to go ahead and move that back just a little bit. And let's go Yeah, let's say there. And then same thing here. We're going to kind of split the difference. And we'll put 4 of them over there. Again, leaving ourselves a little bit of room here. Hit H, and then we can nudge it over. Click there, so we can run in between there. And then we're not gonna gap that one. We're just going to go ahead and put 4 more over here. Now, what's going to happen yet again? They've got the thing turned around. You look at it, you're like, oh, God, I turned it the wrong way. But that's okay. Once you have one of them down, fixing this is so easy. You just hit F, hold down Control, swipe over it, you're done. You hit this, you rotate it with your mouse button. You got it turned around now the right way. You should see the green pointing toward you. Hold down Control, click, and then we can fix it. Nice and easy, right? So easy to fix. Now look, there's a little gap there. I didn't like that. I didn't like it. Let's fix it. Let's get it in there. Make it look nice. There we go. Now this one, same thing. Middle mouse button, this one. Hold down Control. Boom. Then I would take this one out, put one down, just so you have it as a reference, and then you take all of these out. And remember, you get all of the resources back, so it makes it nice and easy for you to just go ahead and redo it. You don't have to go get more resources and whatnot, and there you go. And then what I'm going to do, again, this is old school, by the way, to do this. This is old school. You got signs and things you can use now, but we haven't unlocked that yet, and this is cheap, easy, and it's a visual way of doing it that I find very enjoyable. So I'm going to go ahead and do it my way. But, you can do whatever, whatever you like doing. And there we go. So now we've got a bunch of them. Now, again, we're going to establish what the heck these things are, right? What are some of the resources that I have on me right now that I want to end up right here? What's the resource I'm going to be looking for a lot right now? One of those resources is definitely going to be rotors. So we're going to put rotors right here, and then we're going to take those back out. Over here, I'm going to be looking for a bunch of... Now, I can always change this later, by the way. I'm going to be looking for a bunch of frames there as well. What else am I going to be looking for? Steel beams and steel pipes. Am I going to be building in that direction, or am I going to be building in this direction? That's an important thing to think about, because that's where you want your steel pipe. That's where you want your latest resources to be going, in the direction in which you're working. Well, just so you know, I'm going to be building that way. And the reason why is because I'm going to be building toward the resources, because I know there's a bunch of resources over there that I want. This is one of the greatest places to start in the game, but there is also resources in this direction. There's oil right over there. I'm going to bring that oil over here, and the whole end part here is going to be my oil production right over the top of my coal production. But I'm actually going to be building mostly in this direction, so that's why I'm going to go ahead and choose right here to be my beams, and over here to be my pipes. And they're nice and easy. They're right next to where my hub is as well, so I can easily just run out here and grab them. All right, what else am I making? Rotors, right? So rotors and stators actually work together. So these are stators here. Let's grab those and put those in there. Since you finished the game so many times, I wonder if you keep on doing this also for late game mats, having a warehouse pretty much close to your hub. The whole point of this game is progression. So your ability to not have to chase down resources is the most valuable resource. Your time. Your time is the ultimate resource in real life and in game. So as long as it takes me longer to go get resources or go collect them from a bunch of different factories, that comes out of my most valuable resource. So I rather them come to me than me go to them, right? That's the way to do it. Now, you can make one big central base, or you can make multiple smaller bases that then brings it into a central hub. However you want to do. See, it's your game. Whatever you find the most fun is the right choice. For me, I always bring the stuff to me, so I don't have to go chase it down, including raw resources. Because I think the best thing and the very first thing you should overclock is your raw resource. So if you have a junky course node, you should be overclocking that sucker right at the very beginning. If you start in that, say in the other part of the forest area, you got a bunch of coarse nodes, a bunch of normal nodes, overclock those suckers the second you can actually have a belt that's fast enough, right? So say you have a node is 60 or even 30, and you've overclocked it, it's now 60. As fast as your belt can do, that's as fast as that extractor should be running. You'll see me overclock the heck out of these. And also, most especially, the normal nodes, which are extracting coal right now. right? And it's already extracting coal at 120. But what I really wanted to do is extract coal at 240 right now. Because then I could go over here and I could just go boom. I'd have basically double that amount of power down there. Right? So I've got 16 coal plants going there. I could put another 16 down and I would double my power again. Last time we put down some coal, then we doubled that power, and then we quadrupled that power last time. Yeah, a lot. By a lot. And I could double it up again just by simply going over there and doing it. But then again, it's my time. What is my most valuable thing right now? Get my space elevator back up again, get all my resources pumping over here so they're running while I'm busy going over there, overclocking that, and then upgrading my power. Because I don't really need more power right now. Another thing that I suggest to do, by the way, also is to bring power to your central location. So we're going to go ahead and bring this, and we're going to go ahead and put this, and just say, right underneath there. There we go. We're going to bring power directly to my my hub. Now, why am I bringing power over here to the hub? By the way, you can put this right on the hub now, which is pretty cool. That you can just put this, like, say, right there. Boom. That's called soft clipping. They let you do now. Now, why do I want to do that? Well, this way I can check on my power at any point. I can just go right here from my hub, walk over here, hit this pole. Okay, my power's looking good. I'm producing 1,200 power. Right now, I'm only using 300. Why am I only using 300? That's because I don't have any additional boxes to fill resources up, and all my boxes are filled. One of the things we've done in the past is we've built boxes, so many of them, that they were stacked 25 high. Yeah, 25 high, and they were all filled with resources, which is pretty awesome. Because right now, I could be producing me more resources. It should be running 24/7, right? A, B, C. Always be crafting. That's the Kismet law of gaming right there, or any crafting games anyway. All right, so we got that done. We've got this kind of established of what we want to do there. We've got rotors, we've got stators, and eventually this will be motors and other resources that we want there. Now, there's another resource that we also are going to use. We're going to put that one way down here at the end, and that's this one right here. Bam! Right in here. These are encased industrial beams. We're going to be using those in the next part of our process. Now, all of the ones over here on this side, they come from different resources. Multiple resources are put together to produce that particular thing, right? These are not like basic resources. Basic resources are raw ore, ignites, most of the time except for concrete, and then it produces the thing, right? And except for in the case of screws, where rods are converted into screws. And then also in the case of wire or cable, which is converted from wire, right? So this is a conversion from this, right? So you make this item first, then it makes this item, right? Now on this side, a lot of that stuff that's over there is going to actually be run to the factory, which is going to be behind this, which is going to produce all of these things right here. So we're going to be running those resources back down, underneath, up behind, and then we produce it all over here on the side, nice and clean, and then it runs into these boxes over here. And that's why we moved up, so we could do that right over the top. So we're working more vertically and then working just horizontally, which a lot of people do when they first get into the game. So we're thinking out all of those logistics. Logistics are king, everybody. And again, you can make a fancy base if you want. You go right ahead. That's your jam. Me, I'm all about time efficiency, because that is your mandate from Fixit, the space corporation that sent you here. Be as efficient as possible, produce those resources, send us those resources, and then we'll give you more stuff to upgrade to the next level. Now, also all of these resources are going to need to produce some other stuff, right? Some stuff that I'm going to need to put in a gigantic space elevator, which is right over here. Now, let's go ahead and see if we have enough. I'm going to go ahead and put it in my to-do over here. Oh, I don't have enough iron plates or iron rods to produce this. Right over here. Do we got any extra over here or over here? Well, no, because we don't have it running there right now, right? So let's go over here to our travel. And we're going to travel our way back down. And it just so happens that over this way, there we go. Over this way, I have a whole gigantic box full of it, because it's been running over here. And when I take it out of there, it starts the production back up again, and you'll see my power go back up. So a great way to turn off your power is just to have it run into a box until it fills, All you really need is a box of this stuff, everybody. You don't need 15 boxes of it this early in the game. Though you can, if you want. It's your thing. But I know I'm going to move it around and change it around. And that's just more tedium for me to move the resources around. So I don't do it. I don't waste my time. And I do work vertically. Now, I could add a bunch of supports there and all of that. Just a waste of time, I feel, because you're always readjusting your supports. And it just sucks up your time. It just sucks up your time. But hey, if this was released, then I'd be all about it. Okay, so this says it's too steep. And the reason why it says it's too steep is because it needs some more platforms here. Now, I did learn something about, thing that's really going to help you, about the holograms, is that if you're trying to hang your thing over the side a little bit, your object, whatever it is, if you notice, I can go ahead and take this and I can put it here, and it turns red. It won't let me do it. I move it here. It will let me put it down there, but if I hit H and then I arrow, it'll let me hang it off the side, which is awesome, which it should do anyway, I think. I think it should let you hang that off the side because if you're doing a connector, that's coming up from down below, it needs that extra room. If I do it like this, it's going to be clipping through the bottom of the thing, which I don't like. So I like to hang the container, 1 or 2 off the side. This would be 1, that would be 2. Normally just 1 off the side a little bit, so when I'm connecting that lifter behind there, it's not going through the foundation, which sucks. And the same thing with your space elevator. You can get away with that. Now, I also want my space elevator nice and close, so I don't have to run all the way over there too far away. I also like the little machine to be right there where I'm at. So I'm going to hit H, and then that's going to allow me to nudge that right up next to my hub here. I could get it even closer than if I wanted, but man, that's perfect. Boom. I've seen this hundreds of times, and I love it every single time. And that's why I like building it multiple times. And we already built it before, and we took it down because we took it down so we could build a vertical level above. So cool how it sparks like that. Like how it clamps down too. All right, there we go. And you're like, Kismet, what the heck is this space elevator all about? Well, the whole thing you've been doing throughout the game is you get a bunch of resources and you prove to the home company, fix it, that you're not a fool, that you're not screwing around and you're not wasting their resources, right? That you're actually collecting resources, and then thus you're a more valuable employee. Thus they give you some upgrades to make it where you can, and some of this story I'm just making up, but you can basically be trusted with bigger equipment. That's basically what I feel like as someone who's been the boss, that you're trusting that person with better equipment because they've proven themselves. They made that resource, they sent it up there on the little fly thing over here, or a little shuttle thing, took it up to space, dropped it off. They said, okay, you're competent enough to give you this next thing. And that's basically what you're doing. You're just proving how competent you are to go to the next thing. And so the same thing with the space elevator. You got to build some bigger stuff, some unique items, put them in the space elevator. Now, all I need over here, you can see that up there in the upper right corner, there is a bunch of 500 of one thing, 100 of another thing, and I have about 500 more to go on the other thing. Now, I only build what I need. There's no reason for me to run that stuff 24/7. That just sucks up my power. Even if I have a lot of excess power, don't care. It just wastes my time to produce it. So I only want to produce the thing I need in the moment. And so we're going to get that production going as well. And that production, while we'll have all of this production behind here, we'll have that production off to the side. Now, the reason why we want that production off to the side over here, and we can make this as wide as we want, it goes on and on and on. The reason why I want that production on the side is here's the inputs right here. So we can just put that production over here as much as we want, as much power we have available, run it into the thing, it gets it done, we click the thing, we launch it up the thing, we get more upgrades, and they trust us a little bit more with some better equipment as well. And you can see that I build it very close together, right? I'm creating like a little nucleus of my center of my production. But it does move as I move further and further upwards up to what I call a train level, where I run trains up at the top. And then I just bring the resources up to the train level, and I run trains perfectly flat so they never have to go up and down most of the time. So they don't have to go up and down or anything like that. This is like a flat thing where they're just going here, there, and everywhere, and thus they go at full speed all the time. They never have a problem with grades. They never have a thing, but it is kind of cool making them go down because they go way faster down. But then, of course, at some point, they got to make their way back up again, so they're going to go slow. But if you have it just nice and flat, there's never a slowdown. They're just going wherever they need to go. So let's keep rocking. Again, we're trying out all the new features as well. So let's keep rocking. Let's do the easy stuff first. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to run over here, and we're going to find our concrete right here. We're going to try out our new stuff here, which is right here. We'll put on number 4, which is our floor item that we just unlocked here, right over here, our conveyor lift floor hole. So we're going to run that right there, and that's going to run that down in there. Now, so we're going to go ahead and put our power always in first. 1, then we're going to make this number 2. Then we're going to go into logistics. We're going to make this number 3, and we're going to make this number 4, and number 5. There we go. We're going to use number 4 to go ahead and connect it to this thing, and then make sure that it's going the right direction, which in this case is going in right there. And there we go. We got that connected. So once we connect underneath, it's going to go ahead and run all of our concrete right here, right? Now, one of the cool things that also is going to help us, we're going to go down here. We can go ahead and use our blueprint printer, which we're using. We have made just a little bit of our stuff for this, and then we went over here and we made a whole bunch of them in a row. So it makes it much faster. You don't have to build all the little things and connect all the wires and do all that stuff. It's already pre-built, which is great. Blueprinting is amazing. But way up there, we can see that there is a connector. And we can see that we need to connect that stuff to that connector like this. There we go. Now, of course, our blueprinter is really close to it, but that's okay. We'll get it going. Then we're going to run this over here. We got to watch out because it's going to run into that thing, but we'll go ahead and say right there. And we've got to get our plates, which are over here, up to there. Or concrete, sorry, concrete over on this side. Our concrete from there up to there as well. Now our concrete is way over here. Eventually we do those other ones too. And I like to have multiple boxes on different levels. And the reason why there's box down here is so I can, if I need some concrete down here, I can just walk over here and grab some concrete out of there if I want. Like that. So it's at this level too, and it's also going to be at the above level. So we're going to take that out of there, and we're going to run it up to where we want it to end up. Now, I suggest in the beginning that you go ahead and start using these kind of poles like this, but eventually use the walls. The walls work, I find, a lot better. But we're going to go ahead and do this, and then I always like it to be up at least 2. And that makes it easier if I have my larger vehicles. We're good. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to put this right here at 5. Turn on our zooper there so we don't have to keep doing that. Turn that thing off. And then run that to there. All right, you're getting the general idea. Now, again, we're doing logistics here. Now, we already have a connector here, so we might as well just zap into that one. Right there, and then route this over here. And you can do central routing. You can do a whole bunch of stuff to make this however you want it to be. But for me, I just use what's convenient in the beginning, and then you get more advanced later on. Now, another thing that you can do is go ahead and add a lifter to this and try to figure out at what level you want this to go. Now, this is going to go into the rock, so I'm actually going to put this down because I don't like it to clip. And I'm going to run this up to there. Now, the problem is the blueprint designer is in the way right now. Now, what we can do is actually get a bunch of our resources back and move our blueprint designer kind of out of the way now. So we'll clear the designer, gives us all those resources back, and then we'll go ahead and just take the designer out for now, because I can move the designer back out of the way of all of my stuff. Okay, so that gives you a general idea. We're going to run that right up there, and that's going to start to do its job. Now, if that's running along, you know it's doing its job right now. Its job is to run that up into that box so I don't have to go up there. That's the most important part of that. Now, another thing that we could do, instead of doing that, is like, hey, wait a minute, maybe we want a third box, right? So it just like fills up 3 boxes full of stuff. Right, maybe we want another box right here, like so, which is going to centralize all of our resources over on this side, so I don't have to run all the way over there again, because again, that comes out of my time. I could also build a hypertube over there, but then it takes time for me to build a hypertube, whatnot. But I can go there, and then same thing here, kind of line that up a little bit better. I could probably go, where's that? That's in the center of this foundation. Let's take that out. Let's do this instead. Hit that, hit that. Let's go ahead and move this over here, and we're going to put that right in the center, maybe a little bit forward. And we're just going to go ahead, take this out, and just straight divert that into the top one. There we go. And then now we can kind of better align those, right? We can kind of line those up so it's a little nicer. And then now it's connecting way up there out of the way. I love that, everybody. I think that's awesome. And again, I can go up there and make sure it's not elevated and making sure it's perfect, whatever. It's working. That's the important part. And there we go. And then, of course, down here, now, once that is filled up there in that box, then it's going to go ahead and backlog to this box. And then I have 2 boxes of concrete. And then it's going to backlog to the other box, and I have 3 boxes of concrete. Because that's what you should be doing right now. Having multiple levels of items so that you're now backlogging more stuff, because you have more power, you have more production, you're producing a lot more, and that stuff's going to get produced faster and faster, and that stuff's going to help you as you progress through the game, because soon you're going to need 1,200 of this and 2,000 of that and 4,000 of this and whatnot. That's why it's vitally important to start to scale up at this point. Now, what I've got up there is pretty much what I want down here, right? The way I have all of my stuff set up, I can go ahead and grab this one, move that one over, say, okay, this one was about here. Then I had another one. Oh, come on, fingers, work with me here. Then I had another one right next to that one, and another one here. And then same thing, we can go up here, put these in so we can see where those edges are. And see how it turns blue, and then when it hits the thing, it turns yellow. Say right there. You can also count the little side areas. That helps too. Whatever you feel like doing. But you can see that I'm giving it a bit of a gap. I can put this directly under there, by the way, and just run it straight up into there. But I'm trying to leave this area here for thoroughfare, so I can, drive through there with my vehicles and whatnot later on. I always leave like a 3-lane wide thing in the center lower part. Then the top part's going to be in the middle, and then I'll leave room on the sides of that. So that I can get through there when I'm working with my machines. You'll see all of that stuff here in just a bit. Let's get all of these in, and then we're going to route this stuff. Okay, so the first thing over here is going to be basically a mirror of what's up above. Right? And so the first one here is going to be our plates. So let's go ahead and find our plates over here. It's going to be this one, which is most unfortunate because it'd be better if it was switched the other way. But that's okay. We'll go right here, and we'll run this way down to there, which you should not do. That's not going to work out well. That's going to be very bad. So what we want to do is basically do this in levels, right? So the top level, mid-level, and then lower level. Or what you could do is you could do multiple levels up here where you put this up just a little bit further. This one is going to be right there, and then the one at the bottom, right? So now you have all of your stuff running into those different levels. Then on the other side over here, we kind of match those levels. So we go up just a little bit on this one, and then this one's going to run across and hit that one. This one here is going to match that level, and so we'll go ahead and run that one into there. Now, one of the things that happens, as you can see right there, see how we're getting that kind of crossover there where it's going through the other one, which I really, really don't like when it does that. So maybe we could take this one out, we could take this, we could do this, and then kind of run that where it's not clipping through stuff like that. Easy peasy, right? Now, we've got all that stuff running in there, and then that stuff is eventually going to run its way up to the upper level where we're going to be working, and we'll go up there and we'll do the stuff. Now, it's not perfectly aligned, and that's okay. It's fairly aligned there in the straight. If it's not perfectly aligned, that's okay, because that's why we have that little in between, so that we can align it however and not have to make it perfect. But you can make it perfect however you want to do it. Me, it's all about the time. Now, I've got to get some screws in this box. Where are my screws being produced? Well, let's go look around. We've got rods, we've got plates there. Don't know what's in here, probably raw resources. Yeah, raw coal in there. We've got some stuff coming out of there. What do we got over here? We've got our beams and things, but no screws over on this side. And that's because I had another extra node, and that extra node is doing one thing. It is producing screws, and it's running into these boxes. Now, these boxes are obsolete, so these boxes are going to go bye-bye, but it is producing extra screws. And you can see right here that these screws are going that way, and they're also going this way. And so what we're doing is we're running in a bunch of stuff that is going to produce screws here, right? We're just putting in tons of rods that are going all the way till right here. And you can see that these are turned the opposite way. There's rods there running all the way down to the end, like so. Very nice, very nice. Running those all down to the end over here. And then on this side, those rods are running out, and then they're running into the screws on this side all the way down here. Now you're like, well, Kismet, where's your actual rods being produced? You got a bunch of screws being produced, but where are the rods? Well, the rods are actually being produced up in the front part of this, and then being fed into here to produce a massive amount of screws. You're like, well, why are you making so many screws? Well, the reason why we're making so many screws is because later on you use a lot of them, a crazy ton of them. So over here is the actual production of the rods. And what that does is it gives me a break between the two things. So if I need to add more screws, I can. If I need to add more rods, I can. Really, whatever I feel like doing, I can do it because I have lots of space to do it over there. And that's about as much rods as I need in that thing, because I need a certain amount of rods and a certain amount of ratio to making screws to max out that node, right? So that node right now, 240, coming in and making an obscene amount of screws right now, which is awesome. So what we can do is we can just go ahead and take this out, and what we want to do is take this screw production, and we want to run it over here into the box and then run it up above into that other level. Now, a great way of doing that, instead of just running it across there, is to say, you know what, I don't want that to go up in the air. And this one currently is going over that box, which we'll remove. But I don't want it to do that. Oh, actually, oh, wait. No, I did want to do this. Hold on, my bad. Hold on one second. That was my screw input. I do want it to do that. I don't want it to do this. This one I want to take out. And then what I'm going to do is go ahead and get my floor hole here. And in this case, what I want it to do is I want it to run down. If I do this, it's going to say that it's going in. But you can actually toggle the build mode, so now it's reversed. And boom, that saves you so much time, by the way. You can toggle that reverse mode, and now it's going down under the thing. So now it's running underneath this location, so I don't have to run all of this stuff. And I'm going to be doing that with everything. I'll be running everything down below, so you don't have to see all this stuff running here and basically be in your way. So what we got to do is we got to get underneath here where we're working and see if there's any room down there, right? That's the number one thing you want to see. So we can pull this up and say, what's there? Okay, we got a little bit of ground there. Let's drop down here and make a sandwich level under the sandwich level, which is really fun. And so we need to run over here and say, okay, where is the point in which that's going down? And then we need to run all the stuff, and hopefully it reaches there without actually running into the ground itself. So let's go look on this side and say, okay, what's underneath here? Okay, we got a little bit of gap. Okay, looking good. Let's put this in here and get going. Hey, kids, it's kind of random, but I've been struggling with tetanitis for weeks. I remember you have vertigo. Do you have tetanitis as well? I do not have tetanitis. I just do have a constant vertigo. I have a middle channel ear imbalance, whatever that called. There's like a big long name for it. But basically, it's vertigo. Basically, that's what it is. It's a constant dizziness that happens all the time, and it sucks big time. And it will never end. It'll be for the rest of my life. I'll have to have this constant dizziness. It sucks. I wish it on no one, not even the most evil person in the world. I would wish it on no one, for sure. All right, here we go. Oh, we got a little problem here. We got these stick boys. We got to take these stick boys out of here. Because they're in the way of what we're doing. Now, this is not a game where stuff falls down, everybody. This is one of those kind of Minecraft-like games where you don't have to worry about stuff falling down and all of that stuff. Which I actually like for this type of game. There's some games I like it to be like that, like 7 Days to Die is a great one. But some games, I don't care. I don't care. All right, this... Oh, wait, that should be going out. That's going out. Let's put a thing in there and see what direction it's going. Yes, it's coming out. Okay, so this is now going to run under here like this. Now, I can run it here, but they also have ceiling hang stuff that you can do as well that I haven't unlocked, but you can run that as well. But hey, what do I care? I'm just going to run it underneath here. Oh, if I can get close enough. There we go. I'm just going to run it underneath here like this. And no one except for you and me will ever know that it's under here. And some people make really small sandwich levels like I'm doing right now. Really not enough room, I feel. But you can really get crazy with these and make them however you want. And here we go. We'll run that down there. No one will ever know. And now 240 screws are coming out of there. Running underneath there. And then running back up into that box to give us the second backlog of the box. And then running up above where I'm working. But we still got some work to do up above. And again, we're just working with our basics to start. And then we're going to do our more advanced stuff here in just a moment. For 4 weeks straight, and the doctors seem to not be getting the answers because this has been progressing worse. Yeah, Moist Prudent, you know the problem with doctors is they're like auto mechanics. Some of them suck. In fact, a bunch of them suck. I had 11 different doctors when I was trying to figure out what was going on with mine, and I can tell you only 2 of them were decent. The rest of them just try to get that paycheck. Everybody try to get that bag. They don't care about you. They don't care whether you live or die. They're completely detached from caring whether you are okay or not. There are some good doctors, though. I'm not going to say they're all bad. But you know, you got to find some good ones. Get that second opinion for sure. Because you never know what's going on with them. Again, you can see I'm just putting in a bunch of floor things. They're going to feed right into here. And there we go. We've got all those lined up. Now we need to go this way. And we just need to connect the right ones to the right things. The hardest thing is remembering where that stuff is going, right? What's going to what? That's the hardest part. All right. So now that we got it all lined up, let's turn our light on so we can see what we're doing. We're going to go ahead and add our lifter. Make sure it's going the right direction. It is. Right there. A little awkward from way down here, but it's going to do its thing. And then since we all lined all of these up the same as we did up above, we can now just run those up there. And there we go. So now we have them on the lower level, and we also have them on the upper level. Now, another thing that's being produced over here is reinforced iron plates. And that is probably the way of mastering this entire game. You want me to show you how to master this entire game? Doesn't matter what level you're on. Doesn't matter what tier you're working on. The Kismet rule of 8. That's how you make it work, everybody. And I'm going to show you. It's right here. Now, what we have here is we have 8 constructors. Thus the name 8, right? Thus the 8. And the way this is done is that it is perfectly balanced in the inputs and the outputs. And that's the first time in which you learn that when you get to reinforced iron plates. And all of the different systems have that balance. So much of this, so much of that to make this thing, and then that thing might go on to make something else, and so on and so forth. But in this case, what we're doing is we're using iron, right? So we're using raw iron, and we're going to take that raw iron, which we're running through right here. We're going to bring that out of our extractor down here. We're going to run it up into the box, and we happen to have some extra. Awesome. Then we're going to run it down. We're going to get it forged up, right? We're going to turn it into iron ingots, which is what we're doing right over here. Look at that. Booyah. Making a bunch of that. Then we're going to take that, and we're going to run it out. Now, if we do the right ratios of what we're doing, we can basically say, okay, we're going to get 120 in. Then we're going to split it up into 30, 30, 30, and 30, or 30, 30, 30, 15, 15. right? That's the important thing. And that's what I'm talking about right here. We've got iron plates, and we need to produce 60 iron plates. So to produce 60 iron plates, what we want to do is use 120 of the iron ingots, right? But now I got a problem. I need more iron ingots so I can do the rods too. So now you need a lot more to make that happen. Maybe you need 220s in to do that ratio. But basically, here's the input. The input is 30. Then it's 30 times 3, right? So 30 times 3, that's 90, right? And then you say, okay, well, God, and now I need 30 and 30 again, right, for the rods, which is being produced down here at the end. You can see it's just producing plates on this side, 3 of them producing plates, 2 of them producing rods. But if you take this one and look at the rods are 15. So you got 90, you add 15, and then you got to need 2 of them, so you add 15 again, so that'd be 30. So what do you got? 120. There you go. See, they already figured out all this math for you, everybody. So basically, you need 120 coming in to make the perfect Kismet rule of 8, which basically means that the input matches the output that you need to produce reinforced iron plates. And the way we do that, you create 3 of them, which are plates. You run the plates. You're going to need the plates in the next section. Then you make 2 of them iron rods. You're using 120 base resources, and you're outputting 60 plates, and you're outputting 30 iron rods. Then those iron rods are run right here, and then they're run back into constructors, which are facing in the opposite direction, and 3 more over there. So 3, 2, and then 3 more. And then those are running out right over here. You can see all 3 of them, and those are running out to screws. Now, we've got our 60 plates, and we've got our screws over here. Now, how many screws are we producing? Well, we're bringing our 10 in because we have our 15 and 15, which would be 30. So we split that into thirds, right? So this is going to be 10, the next one's going to be 10, the next one 10. So we're making the perfect amount. We're making exactly as many rods as we need to do 3 of these to produce the screws. And the screws are going to come out at 40 each, right? Depending on, the way that it has it set up. So 40, 80, and then there's another 40 in there, 120 again. So you started with a 120 number, you converted all of this stuff, and you ended up with another 120 number at the end, right? 120 screws, which is what you need. And then those are going into boxes here that are storing those in case I fill up the box. See, now I have a bunch of extra screws there. And then those are being run around the corner here. You can see there's the screws and there's the rods up there, and this being split into 2 separate machines. And that produces exactly enough to produce your reinforced iron plates, right? It's going to come in at 30 over here and 60 over here. You're like, well, Kismet, wait a minute. You said screws was 120. Right, because I doubled the number, right? So now I've doubled the number, so I'm producing more iron plates, double the amount of iron plates I need, and double the amount of iron screws. So I'm producing 60 iron plates, and this takes 30. I'm producing 120 screws, and this takes only 60. And then I'm doing it times double, and then that's perfectly efficient. It's bringing in the exact amount of resources I need to make it run down the line and end up making me 10 plates per minute. Right, 10 reinforced iron plates per minute. And this is how the whole entire game works, is the different stages and being as efficient as possible in those different stages, using the minimum amount of power for the most amount of resources. That's how you rule this game. And then you just need to learn those ratios. Or you don't have to do that at all. There's nothing that says you have to make it perfect, everybody. You play it the way that you want to, but if you do love to make stuff perfect, and if you're that type of player, the kind of more one-sided brain player than the other side, I like to be creative, and I like the numbers at the same time. I've kind of used both sides of my brain. Very, very fun. It's very rare do you find someone who's both creative and also loves the numbers. But there we go. So now we're producing all of that, and it's producing this, and you can see that it's running up, and it's running over to that box. But we want to go ahead and say, no, we don't want that to do that anymore. We want to go ahead and take these plates, and we want to run them down. We want to run them downward down there. Now, so what I need to do is go ahead and do this. And I got to try to line this up, which is probably going to be one of the hardest things right here to go right to there. And I need to make sure to hit R to reverse the direction so it's going down. And so there it goes. It's going to take those. It's going to run those down into there. At least it should. We'll find out. We'll see if it shows up with any of them going in there. I would definitely wait and see if it does. Now, also, there's a great little trick with your splitters and mergers in the fact that underneath you can see what it is. See, this is an input, that's an input, 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 and then the little arrow means it's an output, so it's going to output from there, and it's going to go down into there. But I don't see any. I don't see any going down in there. Let's climb up on here. Oh, it's going to let us get up there. And then look up there and say, is there any plates up there? I don't see any plates up there. Why is there no plates up there? Why is this thing not running? All right, that's what you want to ask yourself. Why is this not running? Why is that not outputting those plates? Most likely, it's your lifters. Your lifters are your #1 things that cause stuff not to work. So let's go ahead and tell it this one to lift there. And then this one to lift into there. And there we go. That one's working now. See, that lifter was not working. So we fixed that. So now that's running up there. We can see it's running over here. We can see it's running now down into there. Your lifters are up and running. And now you can see that it has started back up again. We got our green lights up there at the top. We know that it's working. It's good to go. And so that's going to go down underneath there again. And then we're going to go ahead and just take this foundation out, see where it's going. Ooh, okay. Careful. Careful. And I'm just going to jump down here. And then we're just going to do the same thing again. We go ahead, divert this. Now, we've already got a kind of a way through over here. So we can just go ahead and have a little bit of fun by just grabbing it here, running over here. Now this, when you start doing this kind of stuff where you're just running it on the ground, everybody, we call that spaghetti. And there's no way to trigger someone faster in the Satisfactory community than to just do this, which I love to do because it makes me laugh. All right, and we're just going to go ahead and run across here. And we're going to try to find where we can go ahead and put this in here. Let's see if we can just jump. Not quite. That's okay. I got a ramp over here. We can go ahead and get this going over here. Now, I can put some hyper tubes down there, and I can do all of that. But I'm not really going to be down there too much. I'm just doing that to show a bit of what you can do to make that work. Okay, now the last one in here is going to be this one. Oh, I already have it in there. Is going to be this one over here. And this one's going to be our reinforced iron plates, and it's going to do the same thing we did over here. Going to run that up right over there. We can already pre-connect it if we want to across to here. By the way, notice I'm using Mark III belts. I'm just using the fastest belts I can. I have plenty of resources to make it happen. So we're going to run that up there. And again, over here, we're going to say, all right, this is going to come up down below. I'm going to tell it to go inward. There we go. And now there's a connector down there that I can see. And I can go ahead and take this out temporarily just so I can jump down under there. And then we got a bit of a problem, right? We got a bit of a problem. This one is over here, and that one's over there. I want to have this over on this side, right? So what we can do is we can say, okay, we can find a way to cross-connect these the other way. So we're going to take this one, and we're going to connect it across like this. Try to make sure it's not clipping. Say right there, maybe up just a little bit. Ooh, very close. And then I'm gonna run that down, run that into there. There we go. And then we can run this under here. Now we can come back and make this all super pretty, everybody. But again, what I want is I want functional. I want it to get to work so I can get to work on other stuff, right? I want it doing its thing while I'm doing my thing. And there we go. Now again, I left myself a little bit of room so I can run underneath like that and then get back over here in case there's anything I need to do. But basically, I just ran it from one side to the other side into a box there. And that's going to backlog in that box over on this side. So if I'm at that level, I can utilize that level. Also, a great thing to do is just do this. And then you can just kind of try to jump up out of here. Oh, God. Oh, God. It's not high enough. Not high enough for me to make it. That happens. It happens. Let's put that back. Let's go this way. Crouch a little bit. Crouchy crouch. No, don't want to crouch. All right. We'll walk around. Then we can just go ahead and walk back down over this way. Now, if we did this right, we go up to the boxes. All the right resources should be in the right boxes. And definitely want to check it at this point. You don't want to just be doing this the whole time and then go, oh, God, I got the whole thing set up wrong. There we go. Thanks for the response. This game blows my mind when I watch it because I love Fallout 4 building. Oh yeah, imagine Fallout 4 with this level of building. Oh my God. Oh, now look at that. You're making dreams, making me dream. All right. Okay, so we haven't got anything going over there. We can see that this is starting to fill up, so we got the right one in the right box. Concrete there. Is this one start? Oh yeah, look at all those plates in there. Nice. How about over here? Oh yeah, looking good. Screws. Bam. And then over here, reinforced iron plates. We did our job, everybody. This is our job. Our job is to organize resources. Now, I'm going to do the next one way faster. You guys can just watch me do it. I hope you don't mind me going faster. If you do have any questions, feel free to ask me in the chat. I don't mind at all. Just watching my various directions here. If you do these all in a sequence, it's way faster. I find. For sure, for sure. Now, I'm also going to go around the back of these and also do it over here. Just to make this go a bit faster. There we go. Now, the only two of these that I need to do right now is actually my steel, because I have my steel production on the lower level. All the rest of these are going to be produced on this level as well. So, let's just go ahead and take a look. I believe it's the second one over. Let me double check again. Yeah, second one over. And then we're just going to put that one there. That one there. Put that there. So on. All right, we got those in. We're ready to rock. Now, we could be doing our MAM upgrades. We could be doing a whole bunch of stuff right now. But I always like to get my resources squared away because that's the best use of my time. The best use of my time is to get it working so I'm not spending my time doing it. That's an incredibly great way of doing that. Okay, so same thing over here. We're going to go ahead and grab this container. Now, I have a lot of resources, so that helps me kind of not have to stop and wait for resources and all of that stuff as well. So here we go. We're going to do this again. We're going to go ahead and see how we're looking up here. Turn our light on up there. Run this across like that. Look at how our things are set up. Kind of more in the center. This one's offset in the center of that one. So let's go ahead and do that instead. Dead center of this one right there, and then these are just going to follow suit, just so we can kind of line those up a little nicer. Doesn't really matter, but at least they're being lined up pretty nicely. This game is full of repetition. Now, I could blueprint this, by the way. I just do that over and over. But I find blueprinting is not as effective. You got to use it what it's good at. And it's not as effective for this, I find. By the way, just double clicking there works really great. And then mixing our lines so these are kind of offset out of the way instead of being in our primary roadway. And there we go. We got all those going. Down here. Okay, now it's just so incredibly convenient that right on the other side, right over here, is where those are. And we're going to run them across there, except for we got this. Now, we could just RP that we went and we cut in the rock and we did all the thing, but I'm not doing that. I'm going to make it work. I'm going to make it work right here. Let's go. Boom. We're going to run these underneath. Again, getting these in here. And, man, I'm so glad that they added the ability to change the direction of these because, man, that was annoying. All right, and again, we'll just run this all underneath so it's up, down, out of the way. Now, these are not organized like I have them organized over there, so I have to keep that in mind when I'm running them. And we'll take these out. There we go. I could actually leave that thing there, by the way, and just run it. But it's much cleaner to run it that way, I think. And we're going to reverse that down in there. Oh, and funny irony, we're out of the things that we're trying to make over here. Well, let's go get some more. Now, you got a little vehicle you can drive around in. You can also make a bunch of hyper tubes. I rarely do. Even though it takes more time, I find it takes me more time to get in and out of my vehicle than it does just to run over there and grab it. Most of the time, unless you get to trains and other things like that. Plus, I don't know, there's something lethargic about just walking. Now, later on, I'll get my skates. They'll make me go faster, as well as a whole bunch of other stuff. But we could run a whole bunch of transportation systems, so we don't have to do this. But that takes time. And your time is your most valuable resource. So you got to make the call. You make the call. All right, this is going down that way. There we go. And down that way. Okay, now we're going to go down here and hopefully not fall off the cliff there. There we go. And go ahead and put these in there. So they're coming out in this direction. And then once we do the first one, we can just double click the rest of them. There we go. And so what we want them to do is eventually end up over here, and these should be inputs. Yep, there we go. Because the other one has already set the direction of where we want these to go. Might want to get the chainsaw out here. I ran out of fuel. That's how it always goes. I go make some more, but I won't worry about it. Okay, so we need to know which one of these is what. So we're going to go ahead and run over here and look at the first one. All right, the first one most likely is wire. Wire. Okay, first one, wire. And then when we get it upstairs, how do we want it to be? We want it to be wire, cable, and then copper sheets. So this is going to be our first one right across here. There, and wires off and running. Now we got a bit of a problem, right? We're blocked, right? Because the thing's now in the way. And this is partly why I built it like this, is so you can see all these problems that you're going to have. Now I could run it around the other way over here, but then it's blocking on that side as well. So what we can do is just kind of run it underneath. And again, I think that middle one was copper sheets. Let's just double check. I think the wire is on the right. Always worth your time to double check. Yes, wire's on the right. Let's do wire first. And we'll just run that one underneath. And now we got wire. And then we have one more. Based on the way I did it, I can just go ahead now and run this parallel. Like that. And then now we can run our copper sheets. Say like that. Like this. And again, not only the logistics of running the stuff, but also running it in a way in which it's not clipping, and then knowing which one's going above and beyond and so on. And then like right here, you can think, oh, it's clipping there. Nope, perfectly done right there where none of it's clipping. I love to watch it run resources, everybody. It's like one of my favorite things is to watch it run resources in there. Now, you might have noticed that I did that way faster than I did it the first time, and that's because I was explaining it the first time, and that time you were just watching me do it. And there we go. So we should see all of the resources raising up. And you're like, well, Kismet, these are going super fast, but this one over here is going super slow. Why is that going so slow? It's going so slow because that particular production goes much slower. It's only producing 10 instead of 120 per minute. Now what we want to do is go ahead and decommission some of our boxes over here before we make so much that we can't take it out of here, right? We got a whole box full of that. What I like to do is always have a box nearby where I can just take all of my resources, drop it in there, and then I can actually just take this entire box out like this. Hopefully I didn't drop too much on the ground, a little bit. And then I can go ahead and say, you know what? I want to take the stuff that was in that box and I want to put it in the one over here, and then it will take it and run it up there, and when that one fills, it'll then run it down here. And you'll see what happens when I run that in there. It now is going to go way faster, right? Because it's running out of there at 240 now, running it up above. All right, let's run back, get some stuff. Right over here, and then we can take this out, and we're going to be doing the same thing with all of this. We're going to decommission all of this quickly before we run out of space. That's vitally important. Vitally important to move it over here. Now, I could just run it over there and run all the lines and connect all the lines together. That's going to take a lot more time. It's just better if I just kind of manually run it over there and let it do its thing. Okay, so what's the other thing we need to do? Now, this first one is plates, but I don't have any plates in there. I don't have any rods in there. I don't have anything in there, so nice and easy peasy. Take that one out. All right, good. Next one, a little bit of rods. All right, let's sort some rods. Now remember, I also have another box, wherever this is from, that is another backlog box. So I have 3 of each box, 3 of each kind. And that's what you want to do at this point. You want to start to backlog. First, you want to organize better than you did at the very beginning. And then you want to start to backlog 2 boxes, 3 boxes worth of stuff. And then also decommission a lot of your stuff that you're doing here. We're going to decommission all of this. Oh, this is a second line. Oh, this is a second line. That's right. Oh, that's right. Because we're producing 240. Right? No, we're producing 500. 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey, sorry, what's 5 times 40?
5 times 40 is 200.
200. So that's 200 there, and 200 again. So yeah, 400 is what I'm producing over here, and 400 is faster than my current belts. So I forgot I did that. Even more awesome. So let's go ahead and make another one here. And we'll make that one go down. We'll bring it up just a little bit. Line up to this. Run that into there. All right, now we gotta go down and run that one too. I forgot I did that. That's a lot of screws, but oh, look out! Don't want to jump down there. That's death right there. Watch out. Let's move over this way. Oh, careful, careful. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and run this one this way, and we're gonna have some fun running it over to here, but then bring it up a little bit. Now later on I can tie it into that one line, but now we got a problem, right? We got all of this going on up in here. Actually, this should probably go lower because I'm producing more screws than I can put it on a single belt. But I think we could probably get away with running this underneath. Maybe something like this. Again, this is all spaghetti, but I will take all this out later. This triggers me while I'm doing it. While I'm doing this triggers me, but I know it triggers other people, and that's what makes it funny. Like, kids, don't run it like that. Run it in straight lines. Why are you doing that? Why don't you stack it? Why don't you put it in a thing? Why are you not using your wall things to do the thing? I just know that's what people are thinking, and it makes me laugh. So we'll do a little bit of spaghetti, and then we will also try to do it, proper way later on. But you can see, look at this. Mama. Get that power popping down there. Looking sharp. All right, back down here. We need some of our resources to run this. And we're going to run it on this side. Like this. And run that there. And now we got a big problem. That big problem is we need to actually put this in 2 separate inputs. Now, you can also do this from down below, by the way. So I'm going to put this one like this. And then put it inverse into there. Then we're going to run it from over there. No. Over here. There we go. Into there. All right. So now we got a second one. But I can only put 240 into one of those inputs. But I just unlocked a box that allowed me to have 2 inputs. So with 2 inputs, you can actually be producing 200 screws. 400 screws. Even though you can only realistically do so much. So now the problem is you can't do this. You got to go and raise this one up and line that up and then run that into the second input. Now I'm doing 400 screws per minute right there. 400 screws. So I basically just doubled that production, and I doubled the amount that can go into this box. But the big but about that is that I'm only using 1 lifter. So 400 is going into the box, but only 240 is going up there. And that's okay. because eventually we're going to be taking them screws out of there, and we're going to be using that for other things. And we'll also be tapping on some of the screws over here as well. Now, once my box fills up there, I'm good. That's all I need. One box, more than enough for me to use to upgrade stuff and maybe build more stuff. But down here, I need another box in case I'm down here and I'm working on stuff, and it's like, oh wait, hold on, I need like a little bit of screws. Well, bam, I've got it on 2 separate levels, which helps a lot. Okay, so we got the screws squared away. Glad I thought of that big time. And then we also want to kind of identify what's in there. There we go. And we got all that popping. Very nice. All the basics taken care of. Okay, back upstairs we go. Let's get this going. Look at that. It's so cool watching it all run. Okay, and that's why you leave a gap so you can get through here. And again, all those resources pumping in here. Man, I bet we got a ton of screws in here now. Oh, yeah. How we doing over here? This coming through? Yep, that's good. Okay, so we got all of our basics on that side. Now what we need over here is all of this stuff. Now, of all this stuff, what am I producing right now? I am producing steel beams, and I'm producing rods, but I'm producing nothing of the other stuff. Why? Because I took it all out last time, and we're going to rebuild it this time. Now, we need different resources, base resources, to make all this happen. Right? Now, what we could have done is we could have ran them over to this side and used them to run into the various different things. But that's a waste of my time because I want them to basically be used in such a way that I can run them wherever I want them to run them, but also use them for me. Right? Now, one of the things you want to watch out for is that you don't run it into this box and then run it on to your next production, because what will happen is it'll burn up all the resources in there, and when you go to the box to pull something out of there, you got no resources for you to use. So it's good to learn about splitting and merging and all of that stuff, so you can have a box that's for you, and then a box, all the rest of it, and then eventually all of it, when the box fills, can be used elsewhere. So what we want to do is, of course, do the 2 that we already marked. And so we'll go ahead and run back down again, and we'll get those going. Again, eventually you could blueprint all this stuff and do all of that, but I find since I've already built the production, all I really need to do is run the resources there. So way up there on the top, we can see there's 2 of them right there. And we're going to do the same thing over here, except for we're going to turn them in the opposite direction this way so we can see them, because we have a line that's running right there. Or we could go ahead and get rid of that line, right? What do we got underneath there? We got room. Let's just get rid of that line. Why we want to run that line right in the middle of our beautiful base, right? So our base is looking sexy, right? Let's make it more sexy. Let's go ahead and take this right over here, and I also suggest also using the floor thing and not trying to attach it to the side of that, because that sucks. Just do this. There we go. It's going to go down there, and then more sexy. Come up right there, right? And then we just go ahead and open up the floor a little bit. We hoppy hop right down. Now, because it's up here, it's going to have enough room to not hopefully run into our thing here. We'll see. And then we'll run that across here to there. Oh, which direction are these? These are not going the right direction. Hold on, we got to fix that. We got to check that direction. Doesn't look like it's reversing. Be coming out of here. Yeah. I can't see it over there. Huh. The top one's not right. There's one of these that is not right. All right. I know what to do. Instead of running all the way back every time, make ourselves a nice little ladder. Which is why the ladder's so awesome. All right. I got this one reversed. This should be going out. Like that. Alright, sometimes that happens. You missed it, you were in a hurry. You did the thing and the stuff, and you make a mistake. It's okay. Then we put this one in. That's an input. And we put this one across from over there to over there. And then there we go. Now, of course, I think I feel like this might be touching that one. Ah, it's touching it! No! Don't touch my stuff. I don't like it. Nope. I don't like stuff to clip. It would work just fine, but there we go. So now we're doing this. This is all spaghetti, but we'll fix all of this later. We'll make all perfect lines and we'll run them elsewhere. But that's okay. Or you just leave them here. I mean, hey, it's your thing. You do whatever you need to do. Big time. All right. Now we got to get back over here to our ladder. And we can just leave the ladder in there and close this up so we don't fall down there when we don't want to. And then you can actually see the ladder in there, so you know where your ladder's at. If you go to that. By the way, you will bump into that sometimes, depending on how far up it is. Okay, there we go. We took that out. Took this out, which we don't need. Let's go ahead and put some more of this stuff in here before we get too far behind here. Before all of the boxes fill up, and then you're stuck with a whole bunch of extra. Though we could throw it in the awesome sink. Let's just go ahead and throw it in there. And then, now remember, those screws are going out at a much slower rate than they're going in. So we're going to take the extra screws and just put them in here in the awesome sink. That's going to get rid of those. Basically, it just grinds it up and gives you tickets. This one's already empty. Awesome. Over here, a little bit of cable, no biggie. I love this, everybody. I love to watch it do that. It's so cool. Cool every single time. And I've seen it hundreds of times. Take out any other extra stuff. And man, we're cleaning this place up nice now. That's basically the focus of what I'm doing right now. Just kind of cleaning up my resources from the very beginning of the game. And scaling them up to 3 times of what I was doing originally. So again, should end up with 3 boxes of it, and say I take out a whole box of concrete. Well, guess what? It's already got another box backlog that I can take that and fill up that whole box again. And then it will go and produce me another box full of it. And then I have 2 boxes of backlog in case I just like start building like crazy, man, which I will do eventually. For sure. Wombat, I just got Satisfactory download installed. I'm ready to start my mega building as soon as I get off work tomorrow. There you go, Wombat. Again, kiss your weekend goodbye, bro. Because this is what you're going to be doing, and you're going to be having a great time doing it. Yeah. Oh, man, this game is so good. Now, I purposely don't exceedingly play this game, and I know that I could. I know I could play this game for easy 10,000 hours. Easy, without a second thought. Easy, everybody. And I paid like, I don't know, $40 for the game or something like that. I've already got my monies out of it and 10 times over. But I ease up until it's released. And when it's released, that's when we all going to get together. And I'm going to go ahead and put up a mega server. And we're all going to get in here and we're going to crush it. We're going to build some epic stuff. But for right now, we're just doing our thing. Oh, wait. Those are the things that got to get up on this side. I picked it up without even looking at it. My bad. My bad. Put that back, actually. Put that in there. All right, we got all of our basics squared away. We good. Let's get all this stuff back out of here, and let's go ahead and line up all of this stuff over here. Actually, we will put it this way. Let's go ahead. Something like that. Now, here's a great little trick. What you can do is go ahead and click on this, bring it all the way down, and that's going to give you an idea of where that sucker goes. Like that. And then you grab one of these. You line that up. Make sure that you go nice and close. So it's actually cutting through there a little bit. We can hit H to go into hologram. We can nudge it forward. We can nudge it over. That's looking pretty rock solid. You're like, Kismet, it doesn't line up. Doesn't matter. The whole point of this, the whole point of this is that it's actually going to go up into that box, not down here. That's an important thing to know. So we want to turn this around the other direction. And we're going to go ahead and do that. Or what we could do is we could take it and say, you know what? I want it to be on this side and aim toward the center. So if I'm looking for it later, it'll be a little easier. We can use our arrows, our nudging, to line that up nicely, just like that. Looks pretty good. Actually, I'd probably nudge it back just one. And that looks good. Okay. Now, what we can do instead of, running the kind of cross connection over here, we can simply just run it straight down and then run it right into here. And then it will just output from there and go right up to there. Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool, yep. That's how you line stuff up. Easy peasy. And then this one is definitely exactly offset as the other one because that's the way we set it up. So I already know exactly how to do that one. First try, right? Pretty cool. And then again, we'll go in here and we'll do this. And then we'll do this. And we'll do some spaghetti underruns, as I like to call it. As I like to call it. Now, obviously, the rest of these is not going to work because I have a bunch of machinery here. I can move that machinery. But we're just going to be doing that stuff up above. All right, spaghetti underruns. Let's go. Way over here. Okay, let's just go ahead and jump down right here. Ready? Oh, I mean, we might be able to survive if we land in the water. Yeah, a little dangerous. A little dangerous jumping down right there. Let's run back over here and see what we got. Any room? Oh, God. Okay, still not good. All right, a little room here. Let's go right here. There we go. Now, we got a bit of a problem of the fact that there's not enough room right there. Now, what I would do is go ahead and build yourself an area down below where you can go ahead and run those lines, which are way over there now. I got my thing on. Which are way over there. And those got to be run across and then back down this other way. Oh, we got the big ones here. We can take all these out. Go with the smaller ones just to give us some more room under here. Again, you can see the logistics of this starts to get pretty difficult because you have a lot of stuff in the way. You try to get it from A to Z, from over there, and whatnot. And you might just say, you know what? It'd probably be easier if I just ran it up above, right? If I just ran it over here. Now, I'm running this right here across here. And so maybe I could go in and say, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and run this above this time. Yeah, it's really your call. It's your game. You do whatever you want to do. And in this case, I'm going to run 2 of them. Just like that. And then over here, we're going to zoop 2 of those. And we're going to say, no, no. Take that out, take that out. Pressing the control, by the way. And then we'll say, okay, this one's going to be the first one. Right to there. And then this one's going to be the second one. Right to there. They're not clipping, and they're coming out pretty nicely, and they're elevated, so I can run underneath them, which is why I put them up so high. And then same thing over here. Now, you don't really care down here. You're not going to be hanging around down here that much anyway. I mean, mostly, we're going to be working upstairs after this. But whatever gets it done at this point. And let's see, how far can we go here? Now, what I'm going to do is go ahead and grab the belt, run it until it turns red. Oh, man, that's pretty nice. So, in theory, we might be able to make it all the way. Super close. Seriously doubt it. Seriously doubt it. Let's just go ahead. Look at our thoroughfare here. Let's say right here. Be a good idea. So, I'm going to go up 3. And then number 3. To there. Number 3 is the brings up my belt. And then we're going to have 1 that's going to go in the first one here. Which is this one. And then the second one. Make sure it's not clipping the box. Perfect. Perfecto. And there we go. Easy as that. So that was way easier, right? Way easier than running out and building a thing and do it all. And I could totally have done that, everybody. I could have done all the stuff, but that was way easier. And it's up off the area. It's not blocking my main thoroughfare. I can still get down to where all my power plants are and all of that stuff. And that's another GG done. All right, looking good. Now we take 2 more boxes out of here. Let's go all the way down here to the end. Nothing in there. Awesome. Out of there. Now these boxes over here were never connected. They were just here, and I took some of it and put it in there temporarily because I knew eventually I was going to take it out. See? There's nothing behind it, nothing that's connected to that particular thing. Let's put this back in here until we're ready for that. Okay, so now we've done all the stuff that's being produced down on this lower level, and we've run it up to the upper level, in which now we want to produce all these other things. So let's go ahead and head on up there. Like a soul. Yes, Thurbrick, exactly. You aren't wrong. You are totally correct. You can absolutely get all hooked up in it. I think we're gonna do a bonus stream, by the way, on Friday night to try to catch up a little bit on that 76 season. We might be going all night long. Since I wasn't able to do it yesterday because I was finishing Hogwarts Legacy, we finished it earlier today with 100% completion in the hardest mode. Very, very fun. I think I should just play games in the hardest mode just to start. I know I'm usually going to come back and play it in the hardest mode. I think in the future I'm just going to go straight to the hardest mode. As long as it's not permadeath. If it's permadeath, count me out. That's not my jam. I want to play the game and make it harder, but not make it unfun for me. Some people find that fun. If you find that fun, more power to you. Okay, production time. We need an assembler back here. We need that assembler making us some stuff. All right, now that's the line right up to this one. What do we got in this one? We got rotors. Okay, rotors. What do we need for rotors? That's a good question. Right over here, we need some rods and we need some screws. And we're producing rods and screws on that side, and we're going to need to run those rods and screws over here to be produced. Now, how many of these do I want to produce? How many rods and screws am I producing right now? A lot. In fact, I'm producing 100 per minute. I could actually do double the rotors. But here's one of the things about the game, everybody. You can spend a lot of time doing your production and actually not be progressing as much as you could be if you just done a little bit of production, right? The production equaling your time divided by your progression, basically. And my progression is good. I got enough to progress right now. I just need to make certain resources and just have them, you know, steadily being made in there. So all I need is a bit of iron rods and screws. Now, how many of those do I need? Is the question, right? That's how many rotors I should be producing over here. Now, in this case, just a little bit is fine. I'm good. We'll go ahead and run that up a little bit so we don't have to run underneath there. And we got that going. And we'll go ahead and run a little power here. I always forget where the ladder is. The ladder's over here on this thing. Way up here at the top. Oh, it's in the back. There we go. So we're going to go ahead and put this power right there. And that's going to allow us to chain that power later. And again, we'll go ahead and use our underrun here. Basically bring those resources up from down below. Now we're going to do what I call inline resources, or automatic resources, which is going to bring it up from down below. They're going to be produced and then run over here and then run in here, as opposed to putting them in separate boxes where you put the resources in there and then eventually those resources run out and then you got to put more in there, which you don't want to spend too much of your time doing. In the beginning, that's a great kind of offline running, but in the long run, it's going to be troublesome that you have to spend your time doing that. Now, I'm going to put another one over here, and we're going to go ahead and produce some other stuff, and so on. Now, eventually, we're going to be scaling this up, and it will be its own factory for producing those things. But for right now, we need to do stators in the second one. So we'll go over here, and we'll say stators. What do we need? Steel pipes and wire. Okay. Steel pipes and wire. We'll go ahead and run some steel pipes and wire right over there. Doesn't matter which one it goes into, by the way. That does not look like it's close enough. There we go. Okay. That's going to go in there. And then you can probably guess what we're going to do with this. Run that right into that one. Okay, now we're not doing anything on the other ones. We've already got 2 of these done. And so all we need now is a few more of these babies over here. And again, knowing when to scale up and when not to scale up is a great way to learn the game. Is to try to master what you're doing, right? Modular frames. I believe it is this one right here. Yep, modular frames there. So we'll go modular frames from this one into there. And then this one at the end, I forget what this one is. This one is a reinforced or encased industrial beams. Sorry. Encased industrial beams. We're going to need some steel beams and some concrete. Over here, we're going to need reinforced iron plates and iron rods, and so on. Now, how can you remember what the heck you need with what? I don't know. Steel beams and wire on this first one, so we're going to just do the first one first, right? Steel beams and wire. All right. Dee-dee-dee-dee. It just so happens there's a bunch of steel beams coming through here, right? And those steel beams are going up there as well. Well, what we can do is just go in and say, you know what? Take some of these steel beams that are running right over here and just run those suckers right up into there. Easy peasy, right? Easy. And of course, we got some wire running over here, right? And so we can go ahead and tap into that wire. Now, one of the things we could do is we could split this and run that wire that way, or we could utilize the wire underneath as well. Either way will work out in the end. Now, there's actually a really great little trick where you can just kind of roll this forward just a little bit more. Roll this up so it's not running into that one. And we can roll it way up here out of the way. And then we can try to run it over here. Now that is way too far to run way over here. You can see it turns red. We get about here, which is nice. Because then what we can do is we can go ahead and tap into what we've already got. Let's say right over here. We could run this up just a little bit. We could run this down from up there down to here, which is why I put it up so high, so that it wouldn't run through what we've got here, including the wires. And then we're going to go ahead and take this. Oh, I forgot to add the thing. And we're going to add a little thing there. Then we're going to run that wire right into there. And then we're going to take that wire and we're going to run it up there. Now, you're like, well, Kismet, why'd you put that down so far? Well, the reason why we put that down so far is so we can go ahead and put some more in here. Right over here. And over here. To get our next 2 in there, right? So we got our wire and all of that. So in theory, that should be running right now, right? Except for it ain't got no power. So let's go up there and check it out. Make sure we ran the right thing to the right thing. We ran wire and we ran our steel pipes. Right over here. So yeah, steel pipes, wire, looking good. Now we need to make sure we do our power. Get up there. Does that ladder not work, really? That ladder does not work. Awesome. All right, so we're running our power to here. Now I suggest in the beginning to connect only 2 things to the pole, because what you're going to do is you're going to bring that pole across into the next thing. See if it lets me. Really, it won't let me put on the thing like it did on the other one. Aw. Come on. Yeah, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It's finicky. That's okay. We're just running back there. Into here. Into that one. And then now we need to get power to this side over here. And again, I could run it underneath with my new little fancy wires, but I've already got a wire right over here because I already anticipated needing the power pole and already lined it up so that it would perfectly just run right into there. And that's called thinking ahead, everybody. I'm already 20 steps ahead of what I'm doing right now. I've already built this whole thing in my head. It's already built, already running right now in here. Yeah, and see, I also set up what I wanted. So now I need iron rods and screws. So let's do that. Now, of course, you can make it much more complex than what I'm doing. But let's go ahead and do some iron rods and screws, which are actually going to be pretty easy. All right, iron rods and screws. All right, now we need 100 screws coming out of here, and we need to utilize those 100 screws. Now what I can do is just go ahead and put a splitter right there. I can say this one's going to be screws, and I can turn this around the other way. Take it down to here. We'll turn it around this way. And then what I can do is just raise this up. Yeah, about thing. And you can count it if you want. Me, I'm just making it work. And you can then just run that in there, and your screws are already ready to rock. So cool when it works out like that. Okay, iron rods and screws. So now we need some iron rods. And you could probably guess what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and use this one right here. And I'm going to use this one over here. And then we'll go ahead and extend this out just a little bit. I'll do a little bit of this. Keep it up nice and high out of the way, which is why I have it up so high, so I don't have to run into it in my vehicles. And it starts getting some spaghetti mess down here like you wouldn't believe. We'll fine-tune all this later on. But what do you care? You just want it to work, right? You want it to do its thing. You want to walk away and let that thing do its thing, which is to make you a crazy ton of resources. And then what I can literally do right now is go watch a movie while I let this run on my computer. And I come back, it's going to have a big old box full of that stuff, right? Big old box. Oh, wait. Speaking of box of that stuff, hold on. Let's go back this way. I should actually turn that thing around and face it this way. Let's do that real quick. I have a tendency to end up going this way a lot. Remaking this, rerunning my lines. There we go. Now I'll come out on this side. So I have to keep running over that way. I mean, by the time I get that going the right way, I'm going to be done doing all those anyway. But we need to go over here, drop this stuff off. And now we need to grab all of this stuff over here. Oh, looks like I put my rotors in this box too. All right, rotors are good. Take those out of there. No longer need to be down here. Right there, and I'll probably take this stuff out too, since it's not filling up that entire box yet. We'll take that out. And how much of this we got? Oh, a little too much. Okay. I can also make a hypertube right here, so I don't have to run back and forth. But I know in the long run of my base that that stuff's not going to be there. So I only have to do this a few times. It's not worth my time to make a hypertube over there and do all of that when I want my hypertube to actually be back there out of the way until I need it. Right? That's what we want. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put the rotors in here before it fills up this whole box with rotors. We're going to go ahead and put our stuff over there that we built from before. You can see I got a bunch of it already made from some stuff I had set up previously. But what we're doing is we're cleaning up the base. We're cleaning up the style and where everything is running. And this is called an underrun down here. It's okay to have runs everywhere, wherever you're running stuff, because that's the purpose of this level. The level up above, you want it nice and clean where, you know, that's where you're working, you're doing your thing. And that stuff's not in your way. You can drive around, you can go from here to there and do whatever you want to do. And you golden. Look at that. Much more beautiful. Now, another thing we're going to do, we're going to take this out, because I'm not going to use that right there. We're going to see if we can get all of these resources. Yes. And then take this out, because we no longer need that. And I will actually keep this down here on the lower level. Oh, you know what we forgot to do? We forgot to re-plug that back in again. Let's plug that back in over there. There we go. We'll let that go ahead and grind that down. Now, if there's a bunch of stuff down here that I don't need, I can just throw it in this one, right? And off it goes. But I'll also make another one of those up there so I can also throw stuff away up there if I want to. And basically, the whole purpose of this is to get everything to go where I'm working. right, to go where my hub is. And that is always producing all of that resource at any given time. And then I have a place to grab it right next to the hub. Boom, like that. All right, looking sharp. Looking good across all of that stuff. Now, we got a couple more we got to do over here, and then we'll be good. And we want to make sure that it's getting its rods and screws over here, that it's getting its pipes and wire. Little pipe's going a little slow there. Let's see if our pipe shows up. Yeah, that pipe production is not good. That definitely needs to be scaled up. Yeah, there we go. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a bunch of pipes and throw them in there. I don't need that many stators right now, but eventually it'll still keep going. See, that tells me that that needs more of that particular resource. But I don't need it that bad. Okay, by the way, I could blueprint all of this and come in here and just drop these down already pre-done if we so desired. So reinforced iron plates and iron rods, steel beams, and concrete. Okay, so reinforced iron plates and iron rods. I do them one at a time so I can remember. Or actually, I could write it down, I guess, just to save us some time. All right, first one is going to be written down over here. So this is going to be forced iron plate, and this could be iron rods. And then the second one, because I don't remember all of these by heart, everybody. There's also alternate recipes as well that you could use. I never use them on stream, so that anything I'm doing on stream you guys can do as well. But they are very efficient because they use less resources and less power to produce the same thing. So definitely look for those alternate recipes and check them out when you're in game. Okay, let's go. Right over here. Okay, first one is reinforced iron plates and iron rods. Now, we're running a bunch of iron rods already over here, and of course, being able to see what you're running where, you can just kind of go up here on the top. It's kind of like a little stack, and you can see that your rods are going up here at the top. Well, guess what? We need some iron rods, right? We need iron rods for what we're doing, and we don't really care how much iron rods we're doing, but we definitely need some iron rods. Run right to this one here, and I always bring it down a little bit. It's a little easier to angle it up there. So again, we go over here, we say, okay, which ones are iron rods? Always double check. It's the top one. It's going up at an angle there, and it's just conveniently right next to what we're doing. Let's go ahead and also add our splitter here and our merger. There we go. And then I can just go ahead and split this. Run a little extra in here. Now, we're not worried about the numbers, everybody. The numbers right now don't matter. But in the long run, you do want to worry about all your numbers when you're doing this at a much more extreme degree. Okay, so there we go. So again, we're backlogging that stuff upstairs. We got all of our stuff organized. We got it up off the ground, so it's not in our way. And yet again, we're going to go over here, and we're going to bring this forward. And we're going to go ahead and take this and run that way up out of our way. And then we're going to run over here. Try to find the correct set. There we go. Make ourselves another pole. 3, there we go. Run that hopefully down there. There we go. Yeah, made it. And again, see how nice the stackers are? The stackers are really useful. Later on, you'll see me use the walls, which I also find very useful. But the stacker is incredibly useful in routing your stuff. And there we go. Ah, don't have enough steel beams, everybody. Single tier. Single tier, even though I have like boxes full of it. But here's the thing. Here's a little trick. You grab them off the belt. Right there. You grab a bunch off the belt. Now we good. Now we golden. We'll grab this one. Run that up to that one. And that sucker's off and running because it's already got power. It's got everything. It's going to start working. Let's go ahead and put some more in. Right over here. This one we need more steel beams. Now, another thing I can do is I can run over here to my steel beams and grab some more. What up, Junkers? Oh, we're going into lurk mode. Oh, thank you, bro. Appreciate the lurker love. You have a great night. I can go over here and see if there's some actually still in the box, which they're not. Or I can go up above and get some up there, too. Now, eventually, these will backlog where I'll have more than enough of those. But I also want to divert some of these as well into another box. Now, I also have another box down here, which may be filled with it, but it's not filled there either. You see I have multiple boxes that allow me to go to those boxes and see if there's any resources. Now, again, when it fills up above, then I'll have some down here, and then eventually I'll have some over there as well. So, let's go get some, though, because we're just running maximum speed plates. And if we go upstairs, we should have a bunch of them up there, right? We should have a whole box full of them by now that have basically come up here and basically filled this up for us. So we don't have to go chase it down there if we're working up here. Not too bad. 3/4 of a box. And so we'll grab a bunch of these. We use these for our lines. A bunch of those for us to use. And back down we go. Okay, almost done. Couple more lines here, and then this whole thing is ready to rock. Okay, we're running that down. What are we doing? We are running this line over here. Okay, so we're running these lines over here down so we can work with them. I'm going to run these down just a little extra, just so they don't run into any other lines. And on this one, we need steel beams and concrete. Well, how convenient. This box right here, its whole job is to backlog steel beams. So we got steel beams running out of there. Now, are they running out there at speed that we need? Probably not. But that's okay, because we're just going to go like this. I didn't try to put that there. Oh, it's too steep. Oh, right. But that's okay. We can fix that. But look at this. We got a thing in the way, right? We got a little thing in the way. Let's roll this back. See how that automatically healed itself, by the way? If you put the splitter in after, you can take the splitter out and it automatically heals the belt, which is, I think, an awesome thing. All right, we'll go ahead and run that up just a little bit there so we can kind of just make some more spaghetti here, which is the whole... This is what I'm doing. I'm doing this on purpose, by the way. I'm doing like this on purpose. I love to do that on the lower levels just to show you how not to do it in the long run. In the short run, do this. And then in the long run, you take all this out and you got them all cleanly run and they're all running in tandem with your walls and all that other fun stuff. But this is just get it going, bro. Just get that thing popping, right? Now we got one more to go. One more of all of those and we'll have every bit of that ready. And it will be awesome. All right, concrete up high. You probably know exactly what I'm going to do. We're going to stack it. And we're going to run it. Now we're getting our stack on. Getting pretty high now. That's okay, because this game is awesome, so you can do stuff from down here and make it work. Still getting used to the new aiming, but I actually think I like it more than before. Perfect. Doesn't clip. Looking good. Going up there, making me some stuff. Good to go. And if we did it right, we should go up there and we should see all of the resources coming out for our other box. Other boxes on the far side. Let's go see. Oh, we should go around the side over here. There we go. All right, let's see if the first one, if our rotors are coming out of there. Yep, there we go. Second one over here that I'm standing on. Is that one coming out? Doesn't look like it's coming out. Let's check. Oh boy, not enough wire. Let's go ahead and give it a little push. God, it takes so long to make those. It takes so incredibly long. Now, one of the cool things, there it goes. Now, one of the cool things that's going to happen, everybody, is the fact that it's going to backlog all of the wire into my box, right? And my box is going to get full of wire. Then it's going to backlog it all the way down the lifter. And then when it backlogs it down the lifter, instead of spending half of it up and half of it to me, or half of it to this machine, what it's going to do is it's going to send all of it to this machine, right? So it's actually going to increase the speed of the machine after it fills up the box. And anytime I take something out, it's going to slow down this machine, but my box filling is my priority right now, and this is a secondary thing because I don't need that many stators right now, though I will need some coming up very soon. So that's working. These two are working. And let's go over here and let's check these ones. This one is creating modular frames. Turn our light on. Oh, we know that one's working in case industrial beams. And modular frames. What's going on over here? Probably going slow. You know why it's going slow? Because this sucker goes slow. It's only 2 per minute, everybody. It's going to take a long time to get that going. But you're like, well, Kismet, can't you speed it up? Sure. I can go build more power. I could double it up. I could run more in there. I could get more nodes. I could get all of that, and I could double, triple, quadruple, 5 times, 10 times it. And it would take me, I don't know, 40 hours to do that. Or I just let it run for a very long time. And if I let it run for a very long time, I'm going to have those resources anyway. When I'm not even around, I'm going to be sleeping. It's going to be running. And that is the power of time. Using time to your advantage, right? What you want to do is set it up and then let it run. Because that is automation. If you got to sit there and micromanage it every 5 seconds, that's not automation. That's you doing it. And it comes out of your time. So it's working good, though. It's producing resources, not at the highest rate that we want, but it's going out pretty good. Now we can see over here that it needs a bunch of steel beams, so I'm going to feed that in. Just give a little bit of boost while it backlogs. And then that is basically all of the resources that we wanted to get running for right now. Okay. GG. Good there, right? Probably a good time to save, too. Good time to save. Crushing it. Let's save it. Now, it auto-saves for me, too, but I have one save I call crushing it that I just do myself. Now, we got to get back to work over here, everybody. We got some stuff to do, right? We got 500 of those done, which are smart platings. We got 100 of our automated wiring already in there, and we need 500 versatile framework. And what we want to do is we want to use our steel beams and our modular frames, and we want to produce as many of those suckers as we can so we can get that done as fast as we can with the resources that we already have made. Now, the way to do that is I could run the stuff over there, which I will do, but I can also double, triple it up. I could overclock it and all of that. But I find that it's more efficient to build more of something than it is to overclock machines. I only overclock resource nodes in the beginning. Later on, I also overclock manufacturers so I don't have to run as many lines. That's just laziness on my part, and I just go make more power. But for right now, what we want to do is we want to basically produce that stuff. So we're going to go ahead and start. Let's see. We'll just do it right over here. Looks good. And we want to produce this versatile framework. So we need modular frames and we need steel beams. Now those modular frames and steel beams are being run into my thing here. Now, do I need all of those steel beams right now? Do I need this many steel beams? Or what's more important? Is it more important for me to get to the next stage of the game? Or is it more important for me to use these so I can run a bunch of lines? I can tell you, next stage. Next stage is the most important thing to me, so I'm actually going to burn up all of these resources right here because guess what? It doesn't save. It doesn't help me later on. Turn that sideways. There we go. This way. This way. There we go. And then you this way. And then what I want to do is run all of that over here and utilize it as quick as possible. Now, I'm going to create another box just to kind of organize this stuff over on this side, right? We're going to put that right there. I'm going to put that there. And then we're going to run up on top here. Check our clearance from over here to over there. So we'll go this one to that one. And then we can see it's going right through the box, which I really dislike. No. Don't like it. Don't like it. Not going to do it. Put it up a little higher. This is why you'll see me automatically do this, where I put it up a little bit higher than it really seems to need. But it needs not to clip through my stuff. That's what it needs not to do. All right, let's try that again. This time, this one, this one. So that one. Not clipping up high enough. Looks good. Going in those boxes over there. Now, how much of this I got in here? I don't know. What speed is it going at? I don't know. How many of these do I need? I don't know. But the best way to know is just to build a bunch of them and just pop it in there. That's what we're going to do. Actually, this probably needs to go forward just a little bit, too. Just a little bit, just to make it easier for us to set this up. Right over here. Now, another thing that we need to do is instead of going through and putting a whole bunch of these down, we can blueprint them. So let's go ahead and make a blueprinter right over here, kind of over on the end here, where we can just kind of have it up out of the way. Now, one of the things that I suggest is that you have this is your front. Wherever you have this panel, I consider that the front, and they also give you an arrow now that lets you point that to the front. Now, it's kind of in the way of what I'm doing, but that's okay. We'll take that out, and we're going to kind of build it over here first, and then we can build a whole bunch of them in a row. So, what do we need? Well, we need the little thing here. Now, again, you don't have to build it right on the edge. You can build it up forward. What I need is I need one to be going up like this, right? And then coming back, and then have a splitter back there so I can split stuff. Now, that's a little too close, so we're going to move that forward even more so, just to make this easier. Assembler, a little further forward, let's say right there. And I'm just going to do one just to keep it simple. Like that. Splitter. Liner, splitter up. There we go. That lined up. Doesn't feel lined up. Nope. I was supposed to put a green line. There's my green line. And then we want this to go this way. So it's going in. Yeah, in from that side. I had to think about it for a second. In from that side. Like that. And then the bottom one's just going to go into the bottom one, right? Easy peasy. That's one of the easiest ways of doing that. Then you put it in here. Then you put another one of these down. You connect them. You can put down as many as you possibly want. Now, when they come out of the end, though, I want them to go ahead and merge. And I'm going to merge it in this direction. And the reason why is because this is going to be pointing at the thing, right? And there we go. And that's all you need. Then you go over here, your blueprint designer. You can give it a name. We're going to call it, over here, whatever the name of this thing is, which just went completely out of my assembler. Assemb, because we don't want to call it ass blueprint. And then we can say, down here, we can go ahead and edit this. Category. Oh, add category. There we go. Category. Rename the category. Assemblers. You can put them all in different categories and stuff, which is pretty awesome. I forget how you delete stuff. Just delete undefined. I think that's the one we're working on. All right, apply changes. Confirm. All right, let's go back in and how do we adjust it? Load blueprint. Actually, we still want to save this. Let's just call it assembler. Assemb blueprint. We're going to put it in the assembler directly. Okay. Huh. Weird. Okay. We're just going to go ahead and make it, and then we'll move it there. All right. Let's, they're still working on that. Seems like, or I'm just not doing it right, one or the other. Assembler, select that. We're going to give it a color of, say, purple. Assembler, single assemb. Okay, save the blueprint. There we go. Okay, now we saved it. And in theory, we go in here and look. It should be right there. There we go. Now what we can do is just grab it. We can move it. Huh. Move it into there. God, how did I do that before? I know I moved them all in there. Oh, I did it like this. I went into this and moved them. Yes, this is where you moved in here. All right. Edit. Then move them. Oh, God. Wow. Wow. Brain not working right. Okay, there we go. We got it figured out finally. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and take my my thing out. Oh, get my resources back. Let's see if this works. Clear designer. Pull that out of there. And then we're going to go blueprints, and I'm going to hit number 8. And then in theory, there it is. All right, nice. And so we'll back this up. So we can kind of line this up to what we're doing here. Say right there. Not quite. Now they have the ability, by the way, that you can dismantle a whole bunch of stuff. I think it's R. Yeah, there we go. So you can put a blueprint down, take the whole thing back out again if it's not lined up. Also, the thing I should have done, which I failed to do, was hit H. And then I can now go ahead and line this up a bit better. Make sure it's nice and straight. I can get up here. It'll just stay there until I either click or I decide that's good. A little bit more forward to give me a little bit of space there. And then it's on like Donkey Kong, baby. Why are you so crazy? There we go. And then we need more. Oh, that. God, what time is it? Oh, God, we're already over on the stream again. Jeez. Jeez, I'm telling you. I had no idea. I had no idea time had gone by so fast. Okay, plates. I'm going to go over here, and in theory, we should have some plates. Right over here. There we go. Oh, my God, I got a whole box full of it. Nice. Nice. Here, hold down control so it snaps into position. Okay, now what we need to do, oh, and I could have put this in here, I guess. We can go ahead and put our splitter in here. It's looking pretty good. I could have pre-done the splitters, it just dawned on me, but that's okay. I'm gonna bring it in this way, and then we're gonna turn it. So splitting down the line. These are little green lines to help us line up. If it feels like giving me a green line, come on, give me a green line here, brother. Come on. Okay. And we just do a lot of connecting, and this baby is ready to rock. By the way, most of the time you just double click right there, and I'll just do that. Okie dokie. Oh, this might be a little close to this, but we'll roll with it. We'll just do this. Let's see. We want to do this one first? Yeah, we'll do this one. Oh, that's a splitter. Duh. That's going into there. There we go. And then this side going into that one. Okay. That's there. This to here. And we need power. Tell it what we want it to do. Versatile framework. Okay, now make sure that we ran the right thing to the right place. No steel beams coming in. You know what that tells me? It tells me that my lifters are screwed up. Go back. Put your lifters in. Your lifters are broken. I didn't take it out after I put the thing in at the top. And that's going to be in your blueprint, so you need to fix that in your blueprint itself. And then you should be good. Okay, now we should tell it again what to be here. Double check that they're all functioning. There we go. And again, now because I have a backlog of all of these resources, I can just flood them in there as much as I possibly have. I can just flood them in there until it fills. And then it will make a ton of these. Now I need to make like 500 of them. So it doesn't, again, it doesn't matter how many I have of them, because I can just keep going down the road here, where I just go ahead and say, you know what, I need another one. Or I want to put another one down just to see if I make this go a little bit faster. Because in the long run, this is only a temporary thing anyway. Right? There's like a temporary production that's going on over here. It's not like a finished production. Splitter? Yeah. And then this across to here. And then we can tap this into that power. Tell this what to be. And then there we go. We still have a problem with our lifter. Let's take our lifter out. And look and see if it's going in. Yep. Again, just burn up all those excess resources, doing this as fast as you possibly can. And then connect these across. Nope, nope. I mean, it still worked, but not what I wanted to do. Sometimes it gets a mind of its own. And then right into any of those inputs, doesn't matter. And in theory, if we did this right, we should see these coming out. Oh, I forgot to connect all of the things in the blueprint. There's something we need to fix in the blueprint as well. That's actually connected in the back. And then we can also add the ones in the back there. So that stuff's rutted. There we go. And we should see that thing just pumping that out. And if I wanted to fix this so I could run over it, I could go ahead and just go, you know what, I don't like it. I just want to make sure this is up above. Can't do it. Too annoying, right? But no worries, we got multiple inputs. So let's go this way. Let's go that way. There we go. Can't quite see it from down here when you do that though, but I can tell you that it's working. Keep jumping until we see something. There we go. Alright, now that's going to burn up as much of that resource as it can. By the way, it's also generating, making all the resources. Everything that we built is now completely online. We can just let it run. Now the biggest problem, power. Power is the enemy of progress. Something like that. Or is the enemy of your factory. So how much are we producing? Right now we're using 700. Now we're talking 800, and it's going up. 800 power production, but I'm producing 1,200. 1,200 perpetual power. That uses a portion of that power to go and get the resources that it needs to produce the power, and then it produces the power, and that power is used to make the resources and use the power, and you get the idea. There's a little circle there that you set up with your coal plants. GG, we good. Now we just sit back, put our feet up, relax, take it out, do whatever we want to do, and let it run. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to let it run so that when we come back tomorrow or later today, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we can pull that lever and run that sucker up into space. And then we'll unlock tier 5 and 6, and we'll start working on those as well. And of course, every tier you need to scale it up. So what I do is between 1 and level 4, I pretty much use kind of the same base, and then level that I'm on now, or what, 0 through 2, there we go. 0 through 2, that's like your first stage. Then you're upgrading all of that stuff, which is like your second stage. And then your third stage is doing tier 3 and 4, where you're getting your perpetual power going, and you're getting your base reorganized and getting that rocking. So that's just working constantly. And then we're going to scale it up again when we go to tier 5 and 6, where we're going to start working on a lot of good stuff. Now, there's other stuff that I could be working on as well. There is quartz, and there's sulfur, and there's a bunch of wire I could get as well, and get all of that going. And also there's going to be oil over there that we're going to get going as well. But we're just going to let it run at this stage because we're also out of time here on the stream. But we're going to let it run, come back later this afternoon, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday, and then we're going to work a little bit more into the next stage and try to get number 5 and number 6 undone. Now, while we're waiting, by the way, for all of this stuff, it's also going to produce a ton of this stuff. And when it produces all of that stuff, I can use that stuff to combine into the new elements that we're going to be using in Tier 5 and 6. So that's all going to be useful in the long run. Now, the last thing you want to do once you get everything working is admire your hard work. So we want to go over here and, of course, put our little lookout tower down and take a look at all of our hard work here on the upper area anyway. Let's go check it out. We got all that running over there. And look at this. Look at this great little compact little area that we built that's literally bringing all the resources to us so that we can keep our hub upgrades going. And that's what this whole thing is about. All about hub upgrades. And that didn't take too long. That was pretty easy to run all the lines. We had left ourselves lots of space. We could run it up nice and high, so it's not going to be in our way if we are running around down there. Now, eventually, I'll be running around mostly up on this level. And then you'll see me build up again, way above this thing up here, way above everything pretty much. And that's my train level. And then I run trains nice and flat, bring all the resources from down below all the way up there. You can use ladders or you can use hypertubes to get up and down. And then you just run it all up there real high. It's pretty awesome. We'll get to that next time. Let's go ahead and save. Right here where we left off. And then I'm just going to let this run all night long. I'm going to turn the monitor off and let it run. And we'll come back to it later today. All right. Let's go ahead and get on that Kismet love train and roll out of here. All right, Kismet love train time, everybody. Now, here's a great thing you can do. Just take a quick moment, take a look at this schedule right over here. Right over here. And of course, we're going to come back tomorrow or later today, depending on your time zone. We're going to come back Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, play a bunch more of this after we let it run all this time and build us some backlog of resources, especially creating all those resources and running them into the space elevator. It's already done 300 of them. I can see it up there in the corner. And we're going to wait till tomorrow. We're going to let that run, and then tomorrow we'll go in and we'll launch the thing up there so you guys can all see that. And then, of course, I think I'm going to do a bonus stream. We'll add that for Friday night. We'll see how it works out with the family. No commitments, just in case something goes horribly wrong. But I'm going to try to fit in a Fallout 76 nighttime on Friday so that we can catch up a bit on 76. We'll just play all night long, try to catch up a bit on the season. Of course, Saturday, that's the one to be here on, everybody. Saturday at 10. Oh, by the way, it'll be Friday at 10 p.m. On that 76. On Saturday at 10 p.m., we're going to be doing Alpha 21, 7 Days to Die, and we are going to be upgrading, building a gigantic mega fortress out of the giant mansion that we found. Got a lot of fantastic ideas for that, some stuff that we've done before, some new stuff that we're going to try. Going to be epic as we go ahead and line all that up, so definitely be here Saturday, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, also for that 7 Days to Die. Let's roll that out so we can say thanks to all these awesome people rolling up here. Thanks for all the follows. Thanks for all the sub love tonight, everybody. Appreciate all the awesome support. And of course, you can support the stream totally for free, by the way. You don't have to sub if you don't want to. If you can't afford it, that's perfectly fine. But please take a quick moment. Pop on over to youtube.com/KismetBP. Hit that subscribe. Totally free. Over there on YouTube is basically the follow button over there on YouTube because it does help me do more giveaways and more cool stuff here on stream. Same thing on Twitter, twitter.com/KismetBP. Go over there, hit the follow button. Helps out a lot. You can also say hi to my community. Go over there and learn more about it, including reading the rules, clicking that green check mark in the rules section. Get yourself a special title, Teamwork Tycoon, allow you to post all your epic builds. You got some cool builds in Satisfactory or Minecraft or Fallout or whatever you want to show. You can throw that in community builds once you go ahead and agree to those rules. You can also check out the website, kismet.gg. You can see my 6 monitors and all my other cool stuff I have running back here on the web as well. And of course, the best way to support the stream, take a quick moment, pop on over there, patreon.com/Kismet, and show your support over there, because that not only supports here on Twitch, but also on every single platform that I'm working on, including YouTube and all the other ones you see right down here. So it does support all of those. And it also supports at a much higher level. Patreon's at 95%. Goes back into the Kismet Love Train. I put every penny right back into it, as opposed to here on Twitch, which they take half of it. So very, very difficult to keep this going. Every month is a struggle, everybody. And it's been that way for 9 years. Very much a struggle. But we just keep on keeping on, doing what we love to do, and that's what's important, right? So let me give you guys some love. Speaking of love, right over here, 1,000. Oh, I see you there, Rotisserie G, Blair and Fire. Thanks for that love. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 cats for future giveaways. Let's double check these retweets over here. I think I already gave you a bunch for having 5 of them. We got to 7. You know, I'll give it extra. I'll give it extra 1,000 because you guys are awesome. And I don't know about you, but I had a great time, everybody. We 100% in hard mode. Hogwarts Legacy, amazing. And then, of course, played a bunch of Satisfactory Update 8. We'll be back again. 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See you all then. Appreciate you. Bye, everybody.
Hi, this is Norbert. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button. We'll see you all next time. Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching this video. Help support more videos just like this one and keep the Kismet Love Train a-going by dropping by my Patreon and showing your support.
Big thanks going out to Resident Spike, Rotisserie G, JC Hunter, AMZ, Carlos, Jeremiah, the Notorious TDK, and Scriplin.
Click to watch more videos, and I'll see you next time.